You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday night live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
All right, welcome to Thursday night. I'm back.
You are back.
I feel like
You were here, and then you were gone, and then you were here, and then you were gone.
spring sprung,
Yeah.
and then I sprung out.
Yeah, you did.
I was
Took off.
Yeah, you did.
all the events going on.
St. Augustine, Florida.
Oh man, what a wonderful place to play.
Love
games.
St. Augustine.
Yeah, St. Augustine's a cool place. Yeah.
It was definitely amazing. For you folks at home, I know I got to play a lot of games there. What are some of the coolest? Comment in the chat. What's some of the coolest places that you played a game at, and what game was
People
it?
don't do that. You
No,
do
that-
that.
that's
No, lies. I do too.
All right,
I
go
do
ahead.
too.
Mm-mm.
I can't be the only one.
What's yours,
Like,
Wayne?
Ticket to Ride London in London. Ticket to Ride New York in New York.
Right, stuff like that. Like folks in
We
the
played
in the
Love
comments,
Letter in Italy. We did.
comment below, like places that
Yeah.
you've played games that it was just a cool place to play.
Played what's the Catan dice game? Catan the dice game on a bullet train.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Got James Odak in the chat. First one in the chat. He says Studio B right here.
Back in
And
Studio B.
Studio B was one of the coolest places he played a board game.
Hey, Jim.
Thank you for that, Jim.
Yeah, he said he was going to definitely tune in tonight. I just saw him last night.
He's not at a con again?
No, we were clanking it up last night. We got, 4 games left, I believe, in our 12-game Clank Legacy Season
Nice.
2.
You guys are
Ooh.
kind of cranking through that.
Yeah, we're gonna play.
Is it
again.
getting any better?
We're gonna play Wednesday. It wasn't bad. Let me be. So Jim's giving me crap.
No,
about
I'm
this
not saying it was
because
bad. I'm
yeah, 'cause
just
when I said
wondering
on
if
the
it's
show-
getting better.
Yeah, I just said that we weren't loving the long narratives that
Said
we're
it was
reading.
poop.
So that part of it was poop. But anyway, no, it is. I mean, it's Clank. So it's Clank, and it's cool. Some of the little things that they do. We've been playing cooperative, so hopefully I'm not spoiling, but I knew right before we started, I just read up on a few things and read that was a little twist that they put in there that some people loved, some people didn't. So about 2/3 of the scenarios are individual. You're competing, you're trying to get the highest score. You get a little bonus going into the next one, but then about 1/3 of them are cooperative. And in our game group, Sam is not a fan of the cooperative. She doesn't like cooperative games in general, so every time it's cooperative, she's like, oh, great, a cooperative. So anyway, but it's fun. I like cooperative. I like competitive. So I'm having a great time with it. So I appreciate that Jim included me in on it. Let me just say that. So I did not poo-poo the game before. Jim was giving me a hard time, like, oh, you're not liking our game. Like, no, I like the game. It's just the storytelling is a little much. So yeah, but no, it's fun.
I'm
Alright, well-
listening, and
so
I'm
do we
here.
lose Mike,
Just
or does he
give me a
have one up?
sec. I got to fix something, but I'm listening.
Okay.
It was great because Rob and I at the start of the show were having trouble with our audio, and Mike
Oh yeah.
made fun of us, furiously made fun of us,
Yep.
to include talking about how he just got this new camera and set it up 5 minutes before the show and how well he did that, how easy that was.
Now we can't see Mike. For you listening at home, Mike is a black screen right now. So
I love it.
anyway,
The karma is real.
yep. But Mike,
It's one of these damn lights that keep flickering on me for some reason. I'm trying to figure it
Oh,
out.
so it's not the camera; it's the
He's
flicker.
got a flicker.
He's got a
Yeah.
flicker. Yeah.
Yeah, flicker.
That happens.
Anyway, what are we doing tonight? We talking about board
I don't know. Yeah,
games?
Carlos, what are we doing tonight?
Yeah.
We listen. I've been gone for spring break. Spring sprung and I sprang out, so I've got no topics. Like we're at the
Off the cuff.
Yes, I do know what we do have right now is this impressions. Well, I got to fix that camera of Endeavor Deep Sea.
Something like that.
Endeavor Deep Sea.
Now, Carlos? Did you back this?
No,
Oh no.
Oh, you bought it. You bought it second market. Because wasn't it?
no, I
Kickstarter?
bought it retail.
It's retail
this
now?
was a
Okay.
retail version.
But is
Bob's
there-
played both copies.
Yeah, I played both.
Okay, the Kickstarter versus retail. What's the difference?
Very little. There's some painted wooden pieces in the upgraded pack that aren't painted here. The cubes on your player boards are little symbols, like the DNA track is a little DNA symbol. Here it's just a gray cube. but it's all. I mean, this is wood; those are wood. It's not any kind of change in the material of the components. Everything that's plastic or everything that's cardboard here is cardboard in the upgrade. Everything that's wooden here is wooden in the upgrade. The trays are the same. The organizer's the same. It really is not a big difference between the two. So I would say that if, unless you really, really like blinged out, and again, it's just a few painted, like the little submarines in this are not painted. They're just like silver.
So the difference is not as grand as the difference between Endeavor Age of Sail and then the Endeavor Age of Sail Deluxe.
Yeah, the Deluxe on Age of Sail, they took almost all the cardboard out of it and made everything wood. So there was a big jump there. I feel that was a pretty big jump, and actually I still have all the cardboard stuff. So one of these days I'll upgrade to the wood.
Well, Wayne, let me give you a quick run through the board real quick of what came out of this box.
Yeah, we
so
saw it set up here, yeah.
the tray, what used to be what's that tray company, Robert?
Game Trays.
Game Trays with a Z. It used to be Game Trays for Endeavor Age of Sail. This is
plastic, but yeah.
This is that egg carton material, kind of like what we found in Middle Earth
Like
Duel.
recyclable.
Recyclable.
Type,
Yep.
Yes.
This is very environmentally friendly, which Endeavor
I'm okay
did
with that.
see. Yeah, that was a big push for him here.
Now
So
it's
the
still it's
tray's
very
meant to be
formed
used
well.
long term, so it should last,
Sure.
It
years.
feels thicker than the one, or sturdier than the one that came in the Duel, the Middle Earth Duel. I complained about that tray. This tray does feel a little more sturdy, a little tougher. It's imprinted with the what do you call this? The level.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The recruitment level of the different
Workers.
it used to be
things.
buildings.
Yeah, the buildings in the old one. These
characters
are
now.
professionals. Yeah.
And it is multi-level. So what I mean by that is some of these trays are meant to hold 4 tiles, while some of these trays only hold 2 tiles or 3 tiles. So the tiles, the way they have the embossment inside, it changes the depth of that tray so
Nice.
that everything stays nice and level. And then it's got the corners kind of trimmed out, so you just
Make it
push
easy.
down.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I love
It's
that.
kind of
The
the
first-
same in the Endeavor Age of
Endeavor, I was
Sail.
gonna say, it's the
one,
first time I had ever seen that was in Age of Sail. It is the same exact design, really. Well, not exact, but almost the
it's
same
that
exact design.
recyclable material. That's the
recyclable
impression.
material.
That's the
Yep.
part that impresses me.
Yep.
You know, I kind of wish that Brass had a tray like that where you can
Oh,
have
yeah.
all your technologies in it.
Yes.
That would be really nice for
That would
setup.
be nice.
Yeah, take it.
Comes with a sleeve for that tray, so you can put all the tiles in, sleeve it, and put it back in the box, so it doesn't. It's almost like a lid.
Can you store vertically?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I haven't done that test yet.
Everything came in paper bands. All the cards came in paper bands, and then all the baggies are that
New recyclable plastic stuff.
biodegradable.
Oh,
Biodegradable
nice.
plastic.
Okay.
So they really did take. They made a game about conservation, and they took that to heart. I feel.
I'm on
in
board
the-
with
the
that.
production of the game.
Yeah, conservation is one of the mechanics in the game, mechanisms in the game. One of the little things you can do is a conservation action. And so, they definitely were making
Oh,
a
but
push.
check that out, Robert. Right there on the cover. I didn't realize that it says Game Trays.
Oh, on the sleeve. Oh, okay, so it is still
so
Game Trays.
Game
then.
Trays is making it, but now they're making it with the recycled paper material.
Cool.
So Game Trays is getting on board.
I wonder what their cost is if it's different than plastic. Like it
I
could be
saw a study
recyclable.
today that said that you'd have to use a paper bag 3 times in order for its cost in energy and
To
impact to
save.
the environment in order to save the use of one disposable plastic bag.
Okay.
So that's a good question, Mike. So like,
But it's not
with
so
the
much about
paper-
but it's not so much about the energy. Maybe it costs, but the paper will still biodegrade like within a month or two.
Right.
Plastic bag
just,
is there 1,000 years later.
yes,
Yeah, I'm just curious what their profit margin difference is going, with a paper-like material over plastic. But anyway, we're not here to talk about
Economics of board
profit
games.
margins and crap like that. Talk about that game. So
us
you
about
like it
Endeavor.
more compared to the other one, is what you said, huh?
No, I don't know. Right. So I've expressed my love for Endeavor Age of Sail many times.
Right.
Every time we play it, we talk about it.
The board's not up there.
It's not on there for
Say
this
it
year.
was, it's in my
Well,
Hall of Fame up there.
in your
Yeah.
Hall
Be
of Fame
anywhere in
already.
that room,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Carlos wouldn't know. But anyway,
I got dead bodies hiding in here.
yeah.
This room is full of
Yeah.
stuff. I had just as much enjoyment, but what was surprising, Mike, is it was different. It was I expected to come into what I thought was going to be a reskin of a game, right? Wayne taught me Pokemon Splendor, and it gave me exactly what I expected. Splendor with some Pokemon and a twist. That is not what you get with this game of Endeavor. You will not feel like you're playing a reskinned Endeavor Age of Sail. This feels more like, I'm going to liken it to Command and Colors through GMT, where it has a system that gets transplanted to different themes.
And it's
right?
tweaked
You can
a
play
little bit or whatever.
samurais, or you can play ancients. I feel like they used mechanisms from the system of Endeavor, but it felt nothing like I was playing the original Endeavor.
It's a lot different.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would say, we talked about before whether we even really should compare this to the original because it's so different.
So different.
Yeah, I mean, that you can feel definitely the bones of the Age of Sail in this. I mean, the little player boards are, I would say, almost identical. I mean,
You got the
similar.
4 attribute tracks,
Yeah.
and you're capturing tags to move your attributes up, which then improve your engine, and also dictates your score. So that's exactly the same. The steps that you take your actions in. Step 1, pick a new upgrade, which was a building in the first one. Now it's a person, a recruit. Step 2, add disc from the supply to your board. Step 3, take disc off of players that you've already used, characters you already activate, remove them, and put them in your supply. And then the final track is your ingenuity track, which I don't remember what that track was in the other one. Anyway, comment below if you remember.
It's been a little while since I played, but yeah.
But all that feels the same.
Yeah.
The steps of the actions you take.
Yeah.
But the decisions that you're making when you get to the action phase, that's where the game goes completely off the rails.
Yeah, and the fact that you're building the board in this one. So the board is completely modular here. So, I mean, these are all individual tiles. So in the starter game, you start with a couple of presets. It's like 2 or 3 presets and then like one random. But then as you play the game, one of the mechanisms of the game is you're doing a sonar scan to discover new areas. And so when you do that, there's numbers printed on here. You can take tiles from stacks that are different levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you take 2, you choose 1, you place it, and then the other one goes on the bottom of the stack. And so games can be very, very different. The first time I played, the only other time I've played, we did conservation. One of the mechanisms of the game is conservation, and we did conservation all over the place. Our board was conservation heavy. There was options of places to go, and we all pumped up our conservation tracks, and that's what we did, or conservation actions. In this game, we had almost none. We have 2 tiles out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that do conservation. And so this one, we had to go different directions, so it was a different game. So it's
that modular board, kind of like it, whereas in Age of Sail, you have the map with all the pieces out there, so you can kind of plan ahead with what you want to do. This one, as you're building the board, you may have to pivot your gameplay.
Yep, every time somebody places one, and that's a major part of this. And so we played at 2 players. I played the first time at 3 players, and at 3 players, the board fills up faster, and so you have to use that explore action more often because you just run out of places to go and things to do. So I would imagine even certainly more so at 4 players, and so that's where the scaling of the game is really kind of cool. The board we build here, you potentially can go 5 by 5, so it's a 5 by 5 grid if you max it out. You can see here we only did, like I say, 8 or 9 tiles. In the 3-player game, we went 4 levels deep. Here we were only 3 deep. We filled in the first couple of rows entirely. Here we only filled in 1 entire row. With 4 players, I can imagine that you're going to be close to a 5 by 5 by the time you're done. So interesting. I hadn't thought about it, but it definitely does take up more table space when you do that because you're going to put all these tiles out. But in a 2-player game, the board is going to stay smaller. It's going to stay tighter. We spent more of our time taking actions on these boards because they were just more available things to go to on what was already there, and we didn't have to push that exploration part of it.
So each turn, when you flip over those tiles, there's action on the tiles. So in a smaller game, there's really no benefit to filling in more tiles.
Right.
If there's enough action spaces for what you have, right? There's no I flip the tile so I get extra points. Yeah.
Except we decide, right, as you hit the sonar action, you're going to take 2 tiles from the options way over there. There's 5 different levels of, I don't know if you remember the song in Nemo, mesopelagic, epipelagic, bathypelagic, right? You remember the song in Nemo? Come on, all the zones of the sea. It has every zone.
You're on your own on this one.
Thank you, Robert. So you're going to draw 2 from varying zones depending on where you're sonaring. It's going to limit you to what you can draw. And then when you flip it, Wayne, there will be a exploration or discovery bonus.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's some bonus
Tags.
tags.
Yeah, you get tags. Yeah.
Tags for the board.
They allow you to bump your
Right.
tracks.
to bump your tracks. So this is where it gets cool because you really want to explore because the majority of your tracks are going to come from dropping these down.
Yeah.
Because you're getting, this one gives you 2 tag bonuses plus some research resource. This one gives you 2 different tag bonuses and a research resource. So you're like, okay, which tracks do I need to move? I saw Rob moving his tracks like a wild man, and that's because he was sonaring like a wild man.
Oh, yeah. I found out from my first play that was important. And again, you build the game. So again, talking about what you do, I mean, you can build the game, or I guess, sorry, get back to what you said, Wayne, about, keeping it small and tight because there's enough to do. But if, like in this game, we only had 2 of the tiles that had conservation. So if I decided that I wanted to go more conservation, I would do more sonar actions to do more exploration, and then I would be seeking out these conservation tiles, placing those because I knew that I was pushing my actions towards conservation. So you kind of, obviously you're building it to optimize what you're doing as far as your tracks and things. So,
but here's conservation, right? And in order to do conservation and or some journaling, you have to have some research. There's a resource now
DNA
called
track.
research.
Yeah.
It has a DNA symbol.
Yeah.
But it's officially
It's
called
research,
research.
yeah.
We called it DNA.
We did.
You got enough DNA?
Yeah.
So Rob just threw his DNA all over the table.
Yeah, all over.
All over the table. But in order to get that DNA, you have to go to these dive sites. So it's like, okay, this site gives me some conservation and some journaling options, but I need research resource for that. And in order to do that, I got to find sites that have dive options so that I can dive those sites and mine the research from these dive tokens, because that's where you get your research resources from. So, I mean, there's this, like these, everything's connected.
Change together, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Looks
Which
like we
one
got
do I
some
do first?
got some comments here though too. It looks like James said he says it felt very different. He really likes Deep Sea, but never really cared probably for the old version. We got Robert Cole here checking in. Says, "Yeah, I played this one," and then he said that I found that it took a long time to play. We found it quite satisfying, and I think before we went live, you said that it was a little bit of a long haul game there, or can be long.
I hear with more players, and that's what Rob's experience. You played 4.
Yeah, we played, or 3 actually.
3?
I said 4, but it was 3. Yep, it was 3 players, and it ran. Yeah, it was. Well, I say long. Let's see. What does the box advertise? The box advertises 30 minutes per player, so that's probably right. I think I said an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was on point for you and me because it was less than an hour and we were done.
So, with
Robert, how many players? Robert Cole in the chat.
And was it a learning game?
Yeah,
Also.
it's going to be a learning game.
Yeah. Carlos was learning this one, so and like I say, I was definitely moving a little bit faster than I did the first time I played because I knew what was going on. I could see the links there.
Freaking James. Did you see what he said? Nah, it's less than 3 hours.
It's a pass.
But I mean, I think Age of Sail can be a pretty long game too. It is 4 players. 4 players in a learning game, so probably 2.5 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably 2.5 hours.
I mean, Endeavor Age of Sail can be a long game too. So I mean, it's not.
I don't consider those like anything like a game like that with 4 players. I would fully expect it to be between 2 to 3 hours. A game, that's mid to heavyweight.
Yeah.
I would expect that kind of time frame though.
Especially learning game. If we all knew it 2 hours, you could probably do it in 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to try that one. I remember when they were getting ready to launch the Kickstarter, I was like, oh man, a new Endeavor game here. But yeah, it looked very different. I was like, I'll just hold off. It's going retail. Eventually I'll find it.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the difference between it sounds like the deluxe isn't that crazy different.
Is it not?
And so what was the
token
price difference between the Kickstarter deluxe version and what you can generally find?
I think I was at $50.50. I think it's what this one was.
Oh, that's not bad for a game like that.
I'd have to go back and look.
See what the deluxe version is. Yeah.
All right, cool.
But yeah,
I think the last thing I'll say about it until we play some more, because
the beans.
okay, not the last thing, the second to last thing.
Oh,
I now want to play this more. Like before, here was my hope. This is weird. This is weird if I'm going to say it. Here was my hope. I didn't know Robert had already played. I didn't realize he had already played.
Right. Yeah.
I was bringing him in here. I was hoping because of the theme he would love this. Right, love this so much that he would take this copy home with him and leave his copy of Age of Sail, which is sitting over there with me forever, like to make it its forever home.
I didn't even know you had it.
I still have it.
Okay, I forgot about it.
I borrowed it.
It's one of those things, yeah.
But my hope was he'd be like, man, I love this more than Age of Sail. Then I'd be like, yeah, well, then just take it with you and leave the other one.
Just trade up, yeah.
But what I found is Robert did not love it as much. But what ended up happening was the opposite. Yeah. I'm all like, ooh, now I really want to explore this one for its co-op mode and its solo mode. Mm-hmm. Like,
but you don't play solo games.
Of course not.
Unless I do.
Yeah.
I'm curious now to see how that feels. And the reason I say that is for my last point. My last point is this game, it was all good feels, and I would say dang near felt like a semi-co-op. Like I knew I was competing with Robert, but I'm like, hey man, find us another location, or if I go here and you link it, we can both get that, because I knew that I was not going to be able to take the other action linking. When you take one action and cover it with one of your discs, there's another action that's connected to it. And if anyone fills in that other action with a disc, both of you get the bonus that's between it. Right? In the original game, you had to cover both with your own in order to get it. If Robert took the other disc, he was cock blocking. Well, it's after 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Not even 9:30 yet over there. Jeez,
Sorry.
dude.
But that's what he does, okay? I'm in my emotions. That's what he does. If he sees a space where he can take
Show
it.
me where Robert hurt you.
Right in my heart, okay?
Yeah.
But he would do that. He would purposely block you from getting the bonus by taking that spot. No, the other one, the original Endeavor, it was always a race to meet the governor, right? To get to become the governor of that location. And it was always this like order of actions that you got out of it, which were, it was always a race, and it was very frustrating to time that just right. Robert would somehow always be able to time it where he can pop like the last two and become the governor after I spent 3 actions getting him there. Right?
The ones he cared about, sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do.
All
looks like,
those negative feelings are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's none of that.
He'll find a way to put it back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring it back in. Yeah.
So we got
that board up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Robert Cole coming. It's not as long as Fall of the Mountain King, as he was talking about game length, and then James Odak says the special ocean tiles that have unique pieces and abilities. There are special ocean tiles. I think he's referring to the deluxe copy versus the retail copy. And then I think a new commenter, Janella Miller.
Hi Janella.
The Robot Wanderer and Orca mini expansions are fun, and it plays great solo. I like how
solo. Let's try.
Push you to different directions. Yeah. So
Janella Miller and her husband Chris came to our last game day, Beans and Dice game day. Actually, they met Nick at the Wesley Chapel game day. 2 months ago.
Yep.
And then that's the you saw them at the TGG on Sunday.
TGG, yes. Yep. I did. Yep,
but yeah, nice couple.
First time commenter. Whoop, whoop.
That's cool. I mean, now I know that Carlos has a copy, so we can borrow it for the Beans and Dice game day on the 12th, maybe, and I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. Yeah. My library is my excuse for building this library was originally because it was a way to share games with friends. And then Dan opened your turn, and that was no longer necessary. Right?
Yeah.
Dan was the way to share games, but the library is still here, and it's still available for friends to play.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. It's what we do.
I'm missing what I am jealous of is the wave token. I kept watching the how to play videos, and everybody had that chunky wooden wave token that they have. This is just this little cardboard standee.
This is the non-deluxe version.
Yeah, but you can cut one out of with your laser cutter. Right?
I did fire up the laser again. I fired it back up.
Or I'm sure you can find a 3D printed token that I can crap out for you.
Yeah. So. 3D printed, laser cut. How can we do both?
You can do layers, man.
Layers.
Do like multiple thin layers. It'll look like
an onion or parfait.
Yeah, like an onion.
Thanks, Shrek. Yeah.
Let's open up the phone lines. 813-618-7099 is the number. We will open up the phone lines for y'all.
Phone line?
Phone.
I'm gonna
One day when we make money.
One day we'll have lines.
When we make money, we will have lines.
Hey,
So
the thing says phone lines open at night.
Oh, well, we gotta edit that. But so for any new listeners, this is the part where you call in and participate. We can talk about anything. Call the number that's on the screen there, 813-618-7099. Don't have to talk about what we're talking about, but if you've played Endeavor and you want to play,
look at that
already. Boom.
That says Canada.
Canada. Ooh.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
I'm Robert Cole. I'm actually one of the guys in the chat, and I'm calling from Canada. Can I just say Canada?
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
We're in
Nice
Canada.
Cool.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we got to celebrate this real quick. We got it.
Hold on. He's got a button. There we go.
I think this is our first caller from Canada. Am I right, gentlemen?
I think so.
We
I
are,
won't count when I called from Calgary, but yes, this is a person that lives in Canada.
Mr. Cole, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
What do you got going on?
I was just calling in because I just wanted to make mention of one of the coolest things that I've and I mentioned that I would on the Discord that I'm part of that I would talk about this. I've been doing this thing called a film reroll. Have you ever heard of this?
I have not.
No.
No? Okay. So essentially, it's inspired by another podcast called The Film Reroll. And what it is it's an actual play podcast where they get movies and they re-roll, they play them as RPGs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. And so a group of fans got together, and me included, got together, and we have started our own Discord, and we have been starting to plan our own re-rolls. And I've been a part of one of them so far, and I'm going to be a part of another one tomorrow. But the one that I started in was we did the newest Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Honor Among Thieves, and it turned out it's the best part about this is that they often turn out completely different from what the movie actually ended up being.
Of course, yeah.
And then we're still kind of in the middle of that, but because of scheduling and stuff like that, we're starting another campaign tomorrow. That's sort of like an interim campaign, and the one tomorrow is going to be Zoolander.
Oh, amazing!
What a difference! What a change up! Yeah.
So is it that you guys basically assume roles of the characters in the movie, or you make your own character and insert them into the movie?
Oh, we assume roles of characters in the movie. Like tomorrow, when we do Zoolander, I'm playing as Derek Zoolander.
Nice.
Amazing.
Working in the coal mine.
Yeah. You know, the funniest thing is I actually have never seen Zoolander. Like I'm aware of the character and everything like that. And I'm aware of the movie and all of the jokes, about, is that a school for ants, that kind of thing. But like, I don't know what the movie's about, to be honest with you. So this is.
I've probably watched it 10 times, and I still really don't know what it's about.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's by tomorrow. Like by the time I start playing it, like it could end up being. It might end up going completely off the rails, and we don't know what'll happen because as I said, that's what happened with the Dungeons and Dragons when it went completely off the rails right off the bat by virtue of the fact that we kind of metagamed a little bit and we knew what was going to happen, and so we kind of went and we were like, well, we're going to go off the rails by staying on the rails,
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend it. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to doing film rerolls. The system we use is GURPS.
Oh, I like GURPS.
Yep.
Yeah, GURPS is great. I actually found
GURPS is old
after
school.
playing. Oh yeah. But after playing D&D for so long, I have found GURPS to be like a much better system for role playing. Just because it's more conducive to storytelling, but you still have the combat, right? Whereas D&D really honestly kind of a lot of the times felt like the story was just sort of a way to get you into combat, you know?
Interesting. I'm not familiar with it, so.
No? Okay.
Yeah, two of the guys here are RPGers and two of us aren't. So, yeah, you've got the ears of the two, Carlos and Wayne, that are big time into the RPG stuff, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. I mean, the D&D tends to be about the combat, and the rule system tends to lead you towards the encounters, right? And other gaming systems lend more towards the thematic. And so, like, GURPS is an old school version of that. The 7C system is another one where you gain bonuses the more you describe what you're doing, and the more in character and the theater of the mind type thing that you do.
Cool.
Then D&D. D&D can be about like just combat to combat to combat. And
I was gonna ask Robert, because when he brought up, he said he called them. Did you call them movie reel rolls or film re-rolls?
Yeah, film re-rolls.
Film re-rolls, right? And I was gonna ask you, how did you spell that? Was that like REROLLS or REROLES?
So it's RE-ROLLS.
Right, because to me, like, D&D is a role-playing game in the sense of ROLLS. Like, I'm gonna roll dice for everything I do. Right, it's not as much about the story, more as much as about skills, attributes, min-maxing my character, and just beating these tests.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what it's about. In the podcast that inspired our endeavor, they actually explain it as, instead of having a scriptwriter decide what the characters are going to do, dice rolls decide everything that the characters are going to do.
Interesting. Well, sounds cool.
I'm all about this. I and as a DM, that was my cheat. Like, if I needed some inspiration, back when I was DMing before I had, a bunch of kids, I would get inspiration. I played a lot of D20 Modern. That was my favorite. So any action flick, any, Rainbow Six novel was my inspiration. So, like, this whole re-rolling of films is right up my alley.
Oh, yeah. I imagine, Rainbow Six and, any Tom Clancy would be, like, great. Like, if you did, like, Some of All Fears or something like that, that would be a great one to do, in reroll form. There is a lot of back and forth about what ones we want to do and stuff like that. One that was suggested was we do Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but the problem with that is that that could be too serious, because it's literally just the story of King Arthur, right? So, how are we going to fit the jokes in, aside from the jokes we make ourselves? It stops being Monty Python at that point.
Cut a couple of coconuts in half. And,
yeah. But anyways,
my challenge to you, Robert, my challenge to you is, next time you call in, I want to hear about how you incorporated a charisma contest where you impressed people by somehow managing to remove your underwear,
dance off
with your pants on, keeping your pants on, but somehow managing to remove your underwear. And I'm still not sure, like, what attributes I would use for that test. Would that be dexterity? Would that be strength? Or at the end, would it be Constitution because you failed?
Well, in GURPS, it might actually be a specialized skill. Because there is, like, a specialized skill. Like, there's a whole bunch of different ones. Like, because you only have, I think it's 4 attributes. And it's, like, strength, intellect, charisma, and I forgot what the last one is. I think the last one's luck. And then from there, you have a bunch of attributes that help you. And the attributes are stuff like carousing, which is literally just partying. and fast talk. I imagine doing that, impressing somebody by pulling your underwear off without removing your pants would probably might be a carousing role,
When you get to that scene in the film, that's just, it's
it's a thing.
The Owen brothers are awesome.
Yeah.
The Owen, Will Ferrell. I mean, what a great film.
Yeah,
never seen it.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I'm with,
Well,
Wayne's never
I've seen clips.
I'm aware
I've
of
seen,
it, but
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Blue Steel.
But I might have to watch it after this. After I do the re-roll.
Yeah, definitely worth it. So I probably missed it. So the re-rolling that you do, is it live, or are you playing? You said through Discord, or is you just meeting people through Discord, or?
Yeah, we play through Discord.
Okay.
It is like live. It is like we go into the chat.
Okay.
The Discord chat, and we use Roll20 to play.
For those folks at home, that is software for folks to connect and share a table, so that it can be like you're at a virtual table where you can move pieces and kind of describe what's where.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what's the site if people are interested from our viewership? And
Well, I think Wayne just
did he put it in the
post
chat?
up
that's
our
that's
Discord.
our Discord. Yeah.
So, Robert, if you
okay.
join our Discord, I know that there's an RPG
section
thread in there.
Yeah.
And if you want to share, if you're looking for other RPGers, that's definitely a place to share that. And at minimum, share some pictures or some experiences from it to let us know how that went. That's a great place to
Some
share.
pictures.
Yeah, I'm interested in hearing.
Of the virtual table.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can screenshot, Robert.
Just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put a link in your guys' Discord for sure. And
Yeah, we have a channel for promotion, so post it in there, and people will check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
We are way more open than we should be, but that's just how we roll.
I like it. What's funny is the amount of
roll. Oh
Yeah.
my God, what you were doing there.
I think I'm probably in like 20 or 25 different like board game or nerd related Discords, and probably about half of them have a self promotion channel. So it's 50-50. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right, so that was RPGs, and I know I'm probably going to keep you longer, but I'm curious as to how Canada found us. Like,
Oh yeah.
I found you through another Discord, the Board Game Blitz Discord.
Oh, wow.
Okay, very cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, we've been doing this for a little while. We've been we count the years. We keep debating on
The call-in show has been
when we
4?
started,
Yeah.
Rob had no white in his hair.
No beard.
Yeah.
We were young lads.
Oh yeah, something. No, we weren't that young, but some of us.
I was not a member of the show.
We are small, like our group is small, but we, it's a very tight-knit group.
Oh, for sure.
You get to meet people all over the country, now all over the world, thanks to you and our buddy Edmund in Sweden, which makes us international.
International.
So, but Sweden is never called in. I will have to say
Oh, in
that
the
Sweden.
chat.
So,
Yeah.
so Robert officially makes it an international phone call-in show.
There you go.
There you go.
Yay.
Whereas Edmund commented and made us an international commented show.
Sure.
So thank you for that
Yeah, no problem.
achievement to you, sir.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Well, thank you so much for the call. I look forward to hearing how it went playing Zoolander, the
Yeah, for
film
sure.
reroll. So definitely don't make this the last time you call.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. I'll definitely call back.
Awesome.
Thanks, sir.
Sweet.
Yeah, thanks, Robert.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Canadians are so nice.
Until they punch you in the face.
Yeah, you talking about the hockey game? Yeah, that was awesome. Like 3 fights in like 2 minutes. It's a
Phone
cool
lines
concept
open.
too. Like,
813-618-7099 is the number.
because we've played. I mean, over my years of role playing games, I played Dragonlance. We played Lord of the Rings. You played Star Wars, but you never really like assume the roles of like the characters from the movies or characters from the books. You kind of always play ancillary, or you have your own kind of in that world. So the idea of like playing through the plot of the movie while making your own decisions and maybe seeing how divergent it would be from the actual original story, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Well, because you can kind of know, like, right off the bat where the story is going, some of the scenes that you're going to get to, like different events that occur. But you know what? Dice are a fickle thing. So what might have succeeded in the movie now becomes a whole new issue. Some other challenges that you have to overcome in order to get the objective met.
Yeah.
So that's where the side stories can be created.
James is in a whole different world here with his whole 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, want to reroll
That's a
that?
2-player game with your wife. Baby.
What's the safe word, bro? Because I want to say it right now. Whatever the safe word is, I'm saying it right now.
You're out.
Tacos.
The safe word is don't stop.
Yeah. You've seen Euro Trips like with the
Yes.
with Lucy Lawless. What's the safe word?
Funny.
So,
Some more people in the chat there.
yeah, we got
Oh,
Chester.
yeah. Chad Stilson
Roll for
in the chat, too.
shenanigans. Yeah. We got Chad Stilson. I can see Canada from my house.
That's the one I saw.
Oh, there you go.
That's so Sarah Palin, man. That's all I can think of and laugh.
Water is the essence of is this from Zoolander? Water is the essence
Yes.
of moisture. Okay.
Wayne, you got to watch it. You got to
I
report
do.
back.
It's like I've seen enough clips of it where I probably feel like I've watched it, but yeah, I've never. That's one I've never missed. So.
It's so stupid. I love Ben Stiller films. My wife likes them. We enjoy watching.
I do too. Yeah. Premise reminds me of the part of the novel Ready Player One where the character had to perfectly reenact Holy Grail. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. So we're gonna do other games played.
Oh,
yeah. We're going through
Wayne's
our
got
twigs.
so much to get to.
Oh.
Is that what that sounds like?
Yeah, that's right.
No.
We're gonna do the thing yet. We're gonna do the thing yet.
I mean, what else are we gonna talk about, right? We have. I posted a couple of news articles, I guess, but
There you go. We'll use it as a transition.
there you go.
We're doing the thing. We're going to the twig.
Yeah, it was
This week in gaming.
Because you guys
With
already
Wayne.
talked about Endeavor. No, it's cool. Actually, I got to TGG on Sunday, so
Nice.
my life is turning a corner of freedom to go back out and game and things like that. So yeah, get more time gaming. Soccer season's finally coming to a close, which is amazing. Thank God, it's the longest 10 months every year. But no, TGG is cool. The Tampa Gaming Guild here in Tampa, they have regular game meetups. You can be a member of the guild. But on Sundays, they're offering free gaming. So it's kind of cool. Got down there and I played 3 games with Rob and Daryl, and then 2 games with Michelle Gallagher from our group. But it was good. I think so. We started off with Ostia.
Ostia, yeah, that was.
Oh.
That was.
And
You played, Mike?
That was.
am so mad that I didn't do this Kickstarter.
I haven't even played it, and I'm mad I didn't do the Kickstarter.
Oh
It's
my
good.
God,
It's
it
good.
is
It's really good.
So, spoiler for the end of the month. It's
Yeah.
gonna be pretty high.
It's gonna make the list. Yeah.
It's gonna
be
make the
out there.
list.
It's good.
Carlos,
Carlos will love it.
oh man, it is.
Rondell.
You know
I'm
what
trying to pull it up on Board Game
It's
Geek right now.
going retail in the U.S. though pretty soon.
Soon,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I heard.
It's like Concordia. What's the other game in the Middle Ages that Carlos
I will
loves
be
that has-
done. Crusaders.
Well,
How do you
Crusaders.
spell
Yeah,
it?
it's
It's Concordia and Crusaders.
Ostia. How do you spell
Ostia.
OSTIA. The other thing I was thinking though too is it's also a little bit of the I got a little feel of the other Roman game that Carlos loves. Where
This
it's
is
like,
2022.
Yes. Overseas, I believe. I think it came
to the U.S.
It's either limited in the U.S. or it came to
Yes.
the U.S. later.
Yeah, it was released. Yep, that's it. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, it is. The gameplay is very much Concordia and Crusaders. I will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds like a
Oh, it's good.
sounds like a beautiful love child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see almost an 8.0 rating there on the BGG.
I don't even
Wow.
know how it's not an 8.0 higher. It's
Yeah.
freaking
Well, 7.9 is pretty dang high, but
yeah.
That is.
You have a rondel on your sideboard, and you have these kind of ships that you're moving around the rondel. What's interesting is when you pick up the ships from the rondel, you gain the resources of that location. So like there's like a wood location, a stone location, a wheat location, a money location.
money. Yeah.
And then as you're dropping money, as you're dropping it down, where you end up, you take that action. So
Each
it's
spot has a resource and an action. You're collecting the resources when you pick up, and the number of resources is the number of cubes or ships, whatever
ships
you're
that
picking
pulling
up.
from it, yeah.
Yeah, and then where you end up, where you place the last one as you go around the rondel, is the actual action you take on that turn.
Yeah. And yeah, so then you're
Kind of like Finca. It's where you land.
Where you land is your action. Where you pick up from is
where
what
your resources.
Is your resources you get.
Yeah,
and you store the resources. In
Yeah,
kind of
like Finca, because Finca had
Little
this
bit.
thing where you come from and where you end up, the two
Yes.
together decide.
Finca's, yes, yeah.
I like
Finca's,
that. Was
yeah.
mind melt.
It was very, very yes, and how you sequence that and how you work that out, you can really trigger, chain some actions together, and then you're trying to build ships to go out from Ostia, which is the port city of Rome, and go explore the Mediterranean and the world and whatever, and you're gaining resources as you go. And there is some like Concordia-like scoring where, depending on how far you go on the various sail tracks and other things, you get some multipliers. It was so good. It was really good. It was like I played it, and I like after like Darrow gave us a teach, and we played like a round, and after that round, and I'm like, okay, I've got my strategy. I'm gonna. This is my strategy, and I just honed it. Me typically first game I play, I home in on one strategy. And I just hammered it. And then I'm like, after like the first full turn after the teach, I'm like, God, I really wish I backed this. and Darrow commented, he's like, yeah, me too. I didn't back it. And I played it like a month or two ago. And you could go and late pledge on another campaign from the company. And as part of the late pledge, you could buy the game. And so that's how some people have been getting it, although I think that you can't do that anymore. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but yeah, really cool game. It was very, there's the rondelle there. Super cool. And you have like these tracks you're uncovering on the right there, where as you're building, as you're hitting locations, you can put down your little round token to then get additional abilities, or placing them on end game scoring bonus points, and you're building more ships. And yeah, it's
is this high player interaction? Or are you kind of doing your own thing for
really
most of the game?
You're kind of doing your own thing, but there is a race. So like if someone beats you down, like, so you can see there on the left, you're in Ostia, and you work out from there, and there's 4 tracks you can go on as your ships spreading out through the Mediterranean and Asia and stuff like that. If someone beats you down the track, they're collecting a bunch of the bonus chips on their way.
I see the Mediterranean now. It took a little bit.
Yeah,
squinting my eyes, but now I see it.
A little crooked. But then, Carlos, what you wanted to zoom in on the right side of that board, because that's where the multipliers go. This is the Concordia-esque scoring you'll see. Is you have this kind of like glory track on the left
scythe.
Sorry, very much scythe like
scoring.
You have this kind of like glory track on the side, where the higher you get on that, the better your multiplier on your 3 endgame scoring points, which is like the buildings you have out, the ships you have out, and your like wine that you've collected. Really cool. And it's the board is the chips on the board and the endgame victory points, they kind of like random out there, so the kind of board changes each gameplay a little bit, enough to not make it just very stale. But yeah, really good game. Super
screen printed meeples are gorgeous.
Yeah, they are pretty nice.
All the little buildings. Yeah.
Yep.
Very what's the Wonders game that came out? The World of Wonders.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That kind of that style of buildings.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, as we were playing this, and I so turn 1, I'm like, damn it, I wish I backed this. Turn 2, once I fully understood the scoring, I looked at Rob and I go, oh, Carlos is gonna like this one.
Yeah,
he's like
the rondelle and the
rondelle
and the resource
scoring.
Yeah,
the Mediterranean. I am a sucker for trading in the Mediterranean.
Trading in the Mediterranean, yeah. And this is the trading in the Mediterranean game. Yeah, very pretty. And there's expansions already and stuff. So yeah.
Hard to get right now, I think, but yeah, there's Mike said or something. I think there's a U.S. printing coming or something. So yeah, it's gonna be available, but right now it's really tough to get.
Chad's supposed to say Mike Delisio from the Dice Tower is crazy about this one. Yeah, he is. So's Tom. I think 2 or 3 of them already had it in their top 100 games of all time.
But Mike Delisio was already he was mentioning this before the Kickstarter launch.
Yeah, like 2 years ago he was. Yeah, he's been talking about it for a while. It's a real good game. It is. Again, so like I'm. Like Endeavor, I didn't back. This I didn't back. So now I'm getting like there's like 2, 3, 4 Kickstarters where I'm like, God damn it, I should have backed this game.
Better get in on them.
Well, I can wait till the retail shows up. Robert already tricked me into buying Cora.
Oh, is that it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we played that. That was another game. I'm sure
We
Wade
did.
was getting to that on the list, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we played Ostia. That was then we played it 4-player, and it was a teach for 2 of us.
Yeah.
And really only the second gameplay I think for you, Rob, and right or
Of Korra? Yeah.
Ostia. Second play
Ostia.
was
No, that's the first time I've ever played.
first time. Oh, so the first time. So 3 of us first time, and I think it was about 2 hours.
Daryl's the only one who played it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple hours. Yeah.
A couple hours. Yeah. And then we played Core right after that, which was I don't think it does Core justice to play this game and then play Core. Like it was.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. It felt like a big step down, but
not even. I wouldn't even say step down. I really enjoyed Core. It was a great gameplay, but it's like the brain was still going for a while on Ostia. I liked Core though. I didn't. I wonder if some of so in Core you're collecting you get a civilization. So like you could be Athens, you could be Sparta, you can be Greece or Thebes or whatever. And either you have to really play into that because I didn't really play into my special ability. And Rob and I we got crushed.
We got waxed. Daryl, who has played this a bunch, well, not a bunch. He's played it several times solo. He used to own it. He said he'd only played it solo. Yeah. He hadn't played it multiplayer. But sometimes, when you play a game solo, you kind of figure out all the little things. And yeah, he had figured out all the little things.
I think it was he was at like 180.
It was
or
3
something.
times my score or something.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It was like 180, and I was at like 100, and then like Michelle and you were in the 50s or 60s. But it was a good game. It was very easy to play. I like that. It was a very quick playing game. It's light compared to more heavy Civ games, Ostia, and even just Civilization games in general are going to be heavier. So if you want a Civilization game feel that's hour and 10 for a 3 or 4 player game, this is perfect. It really did good. I think the first time I played it, you definitely make some mistakes. I think you have to really play into certain strategies. You really need to try to synergize your nation's abilities to the card you're drafting and taking and sort of what you're building towards. But it was fun. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, I like it.
It'll probably still make my top 20, but it will not be as high as Ostia.
No. Yeah, Ostia was great. Yeah.
And then the last game I got to play before I had to leave, I had to leave earlier than other folks, is we Point City, which was very interesting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
liked that. Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. It was not overly more complex than Point Salad, but added some uniqueness to it. I like the idea of you have the grid out there that's more than Point Salad, because Point Salad is just 3x3 grid. So this was a 4x4. Is it 4x4 or 5x5?
4x4 or 5x5.
Yeah, and the idea of you can't take 2 of the same. If you have to take a building, you have to take a city building and a resource side by side, or you can take 2 resources, and then if a whole row is one thing or another, you can flip them. And there's it was some good back and forth, because there was in the game we had the leaf earth whatever resource wasn't coming out very often, and we're all looking for it. So like the moment one comes out or the moment you flip it over, you go, oh great, that's not making it back to me. But it was good. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it, actually. I think not enough to go buy a copy, but it was definitely I'd play this anytime as a nice easy filler, because we got about a half hour before I got to leave, and they were like, oh, we could do this in a half hour, and the 4 of us did, so it went pretty quick.
Carlos, Mike, you all played this one? Yeah.
Not yet.
I have not.
Okay, real similar to Point Salad. It's a little more complex, but it's
like
fun.
a hair more complex. Yeah.
You got a wild card in there that you can use as a wild resource that comes up through the deck, and the second half of the deck, everything takes a step up. So like all of the resources become worth 2, the buildings become more expensive to buy. So it's nicely paced because you go one time through the whole deck and you're done. So
and the city tiles that you're building they'll give you more resources, they'll give you victory points, or some of them give you the ability to grab those tiles at the top, which is kind of a secondary scoring thing. Like you can score from the city pieces you build; they could be worth victory points, but then you can kind of, as you're building the city tiles, you'll see you're collecting a certain type. You'll want to go grab the extra bonus scoring for that type.
Sets of resources and things like that. Yeah.
I would say it's a step up from Point Salad.
Yeah.
But maybe like if Point Salad is like a 1, this is like a 1.8, type thing. I don't know the weights. I'm just throwing it out there, but it's not. It's just a tad heavier, but doesn't really play that long. I mean, we played a 4-player game in a half hour, so that was fun. So those were 3 games I got this week.
I'll pick up real quick just because I can hit off the rest of the. So after Wayne left, I got into a game of Archaeology: The New Expedition. This is one I've been wanting to play for a long time because Z Garcia over on the Dice Tower talks about this game a lot. It's been on a lot of his lists and things. It's just a card game, deck of cards, and a couple of chits and things, but. I liked it. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in the group. It might have been Daryl. Somebody had played it and wasn't a fan, and so I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, not everybody likes it because every time I've heard people talk about it, they seem to like this game. But it's a lot of fun. It's set collection, so it's a set collection card game. You can spin cards. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what was the card game we played, Carlos? Super popular, 2-player only. Card game where you're always having to rearrange the chits in order every round.
The Jaipur.
Jaipur, yeah, reminded me a little bit of that.
Man, you and I would kick butt at a game of like Taboo.
Oh yeah,
like one mind,
really vague, and you figure
and I'm
it
like,
out.
I know what he's talking about.
That game. So yeah, got it.
You guys should just be on the next Newlywed Show. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So this one has a fun. You're set collecting. You're drawing a card. At the beginning of every turn, you're drawing a card off the top of the deck. You are at any time on your turn, you can play sets of cards, but the different sets of cards have they're more valuable as you get more in the sets. And so at the bottom of them, it'll show each card. It'll show you there's 12 of this type of card in the deck. If you play it as a single, it's worth 1 point. If you play it as 2, it's worth 2. If you play it as a group of 4, it's worth 16 or something. And so you're trying to collect so that you can put down nice big sets of cards so you can maximize your points. The deck, though, has 4, I think it's 4, well, it depends on the number of players. We played 3, I think. But in our game, there was 4 sandstorms. What happens when a sandstorm comes out is you have to discard half of the cards in your hand, and you have to put them out in a market where other people then can potentially pick them up. And so you're playing this little press your luck game, hoping that the sandstorms don't come out. And when the sandstorm comes out, if whoever draws it, everybody has to discard down half of their deck, and so or half of their hand, and so you're playing this little thing about, do I play this group now just to get it out of my hand for for the 4 points, or do I try to get one more because then it jumps up to like 12 points? And
I like this already.
But then sandstorm comes, and then you gotta decide what to get rid of, and then when things are out on the market, you can trade cards out of your hand with the market. So if I have a 5-point card in my hand, they all have little numbers, I think 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 in the corner, and they go up as they become more rare, but you can on your turns, like a free action, after you draw a card off the top, you can look at it, and then you can play any number of cards from your hand into the market and then take the same total number back out. So if I'm looking for, there's a 5-point card out there and I have 2 1s and a 3 in my hand, then I can discard or play to the market the 2 1s and the 3, and then pick up that 5-pointer, and then go ahead and display that as in-game points during my turn. And so, real fun little pressure luck aspect, set collection aspect. It's again, it's just a card game.
You didn't say Phil Walker Harding.
Oh, I did not.
Praise
I forgot
be.
It was Phil Walker Harding. Praise be.
Praise be.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, just a great game from him, and I can see why Z likes it so much. Again, this fits in with Carlos's little deck of cards that you can take anywhere. And
I do got to get this one into there.
When was this released?
I know it's
game.
Yeah,
I know
I think
it
it's
is.
had a couple different versions, like stylistically. 20. What does this one say? Help me find it here, Robert.
It's usually at the top. I don't have my glasses on, but
Go Gadget Eyes. 2016.
2016. Okay.
Okay.
So,
I think
bit
I've
older.
seen this cover before, and I just kind of passed over
We've
it.
talked
not
about it
knowing.
on the show before, because I remember I think years ago I talked
we?
about it as
Okay.
my play, because then I got taught it at your
you
turn.
played it. Okay, I didn't realize you
one
even
point.
played it. Yeah.
It's got that fun push your luck set collection thing going. We're like, okay, and what's really cool is it tells you how many cards are available and then how much each set is worth. So it's like right in your face. Like if you just hang on a little longer, Carlos, you can get that extra card. It's going to be worth way more points. Sandstorm. So you're like angry at yourself.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good time. And so Chris and Janella, again, new members to the area here from the group, Miller, brought it because I had mentioned, actually, I might even have been on the show or somewhere I mentioned that they had heard. And so they actually brought it to the game day, and or maybe they just happened to bring it. And I was like,
No, I think they said that they heard you talking talking about it. That's why
yeah, maybe that was it on the show or something.
Yeah.
They had heard us, and so they brought it. And I didn't get to play it at our last Beans and Dice game day, second Saturday game day, because they brought it, and we kept saying we were going to play, but then just more games kept coming and more games kept coming. So they brought it back. They actually gave me a ride. Thank you again to the game day at TGG Sunday, and so we made a priority to get it played. So Chris Miller taught it to us, and had a really good time. I'm really glad I played it. And definitely a game that I would look to pick up. So yeah, it's good.
I want to give this one. That sounds fun. I like it.
Yep.
That's because
I didn't
it's the
realize
whole
that it
the
played
push
2
your
to
luck thing.
5. That's a good range.
Yeah, 2 to 5 players. Yeah.
That push your luck mechanism is always fun because it's like you're trying to get that one extra card to get a bigger set, and then boom, sandstorm.
Yep. Something happens and it screws you up. So. And the last thing I played that night was before I left was Endeavor Deep Sea. That was my first play of that, so I got that played and got that in. Chris Miller taught that as well, and so I appreciate him bringing their deluxe copy and getting the chance to play that. And it was good again being able to contrast now coming and playing this copy here and seeing that they really are really similar. So like I say, Wayne, I'd really be interested to know what the price difference is between the two. I would assume it's not much because there's not a whole lot of difference. So. But yeah, Jim reminded me a few tiles that there are a few special tiles that do some cool things that this doesn't have, but it's just a couple, I think, and then just some printing on some of the wood. But the rest of it's all same quality, same good stuff. So yep. So that was my Sunday at TGG, Tampa Gaming Guild.
Mike, how's your twig this past week? This week in gaming,
your twig hurting?
Nada.
No,
I'm finally catching up though on works, and I'm trying to get. Of course, I'm late on my taxes for submitting them to my CPA, but I was actually working on that tonight.
Write that down. Thanks for reminding me.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Last night, I told my wife, I was like, "We gotta do the taxes one of these days."
Yeah. I think I'm wrapping
please
things
this,
up,
folks, as a PSA to all of
PSA.
you. Taxes are due. When are they due?
We got 2 weeks.
April 16th, I think.
Yeah,
But if you're like an LLC or something like that, you usually want to get them to your CPA before the end of March. But anyway,
don't be like Wesley Snipes.
That's right.
You only have to file if you owe money.
The more you know.
You only have to file if you actually owe money.
You only have to file on time. If you
I
owe
think
money.
you have to file. Remember, folks, you
still
have
to file. We're not giving legal advice here.
No, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your CPA, but no. But I do know.
Say it like Bonacor
like
does.
Bonacor, I am not your. I am
I'm
a
not
financial
your CPA,
advisor, but I'm
and
not
if I was a CPA, I'm not your CPA.
But no, like tangential story. I do know of a person that like he literally did not file taxes for like 6 years.
Oh, I know somebody that did that too, and they're kicking themselves in the ass for it.
Yeah.
Well, and once
the individual had like the kid get ready for college, and I'm like, you kind of gotta have to do your taxes if you're gonna apply for college aid. And then he went and did like 6 years worth of taxes. Okay. Off topic, or back to the Endeavor Age of Sail, the Endeavor Deep Sea.
And I got cut off already, man. I can't even say anything about my past week or so.
No, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I just found it on the same website. The special edition was retail edition that you could buy in the Kickstarter was $59 US, and then the special edition was $72. So a $22 difference.
That's not too bad.
Between the two. So.
59 to 72.
Mm-hmm.
13, right?
Yeah.
$13.
Give or take.
$13. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. $13 difference. Yeah. And I see why, because there's really not that big a difference.
Carlos will just buy the second version, and he'll have both.
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Back to Mike.
Back to Mike. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. So anyway, even though I didn't get any gaming in, I did.
Mike's done.
Running around. What? What'd you say?
I was cutting you off. I said, Mike's done. All right.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I was driving around and I happened to be by Blue Highway Games, which is over in Queen Anne. And I was like, I'm going to stop in there because what was I looking for? I think it was like a small expansion for something that was older. But anyway, they also have like a kind of like a consignment area upstairs. They have like multiple shelves full of consignment stuff. And of course, like right there, as soon as you come up the stairs, right in the middle of the shelf, probably because they're looking to sell it, was the deluxe version, or whatever the max deluxe version of Mosaic was there, with all the upgrades, the expansion,
That is
basically
not a $13 difference.
No.
But no, it's not. But anyway, it was, I think they're asking 130 for it. And it was like all sealed for the most part. Like nothing was punched. It was all, and I take it out and I'm opening up the box, looking at everything. Everything's in, perfect condition. I'm thinking, oh man, I've already got a copy of it. I got the regular retail, and I know Carlos said
You didn't
the
do
retail
Carlos,
is
did you?
fine. Just stick with it. So I hemmed and hawed over it, and I ended up not buying it. But the funny thing is I get back in my car, and I was just happened to be starting a new podcast, and Board Game Hot Takes. The episode I was listening to was games that I think it was like games that needed a remake or something like that. Like older games that needed a remake, or is it what are some things that some upgrades that you wouldn't want in games, or something like that. And this Mosaic was actually mentioned in that podcast, and they were saying, I actually like the regular version because it's a lot easier to see all the things on the buildings, as far as like the number. And I was like, okay, that solidified it for me. I'm glad I didn't pick it up. But anyway, yeah, that was just my quick little run-in with. That's as close as I got to gaming this past week as I could possibly.
That's your gaming. That's your twig.
It was not a full haul. It was a semi haul.
Yeah, it was, but yeah. And then I'll be gaming this weekend, though. We have a birthday party coming up, and I'm going to bring Ito. I'm going to bring my deluxe version of Ready, Set, Bet, and I'll probably get, some rounds in of that. So nice. Hopefully some gaming for this coming week.
All right, I knew, Carlos, you're going to be next, but just to tap mine off, because I played we mentioned TGG. All the other two that I can jump to mind here real quick is just I did get Frosthaven in, pardon me, on Monday night, Tuesday night. Yes, Tuesday night. And then last night we played another Legacy Clank Legacy Season 2. And so got both of those back in this week. So it was good to be back to a full week of my legacy games, big games. Nice. But anyway,
did you see did you see that they announced Frosthaven Digital?
I did. Yeah, big announcement. So it surprised a lot of people. I hadn't heard anything about it. I know on Dice Tower they were saying
it's like early and beta
hadn't heard anything about it. Yeah, it kind of snuck it in there. So I mean, you knew it was coming, right? I mean, they had Gloomhaven out there for probably a couple years now, so you knew Frosthaven was probably coming. But yeah. Good stuff.
I think Steam now has Cascadia too. Also, I saw that on there.
Nice. Yeah.
Chaz was gonna say that Jamie Stegmeyer has a new podcast. Yeah, I saw it. I hit my YouTube feed today.
What's up with it?
It's him and another guy, and actually it's the other guy. The other guy, I guess, has a radio show, and he knows Jamie, and they're doing just kind of like a banter thing, like talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I half listened to the first half of it before the show tonight. I'll probably listen to it again tomorrow just to actually see what it's about. But it was interesting, yeah.
Okay.
And he's sponsoring an athlete. Stonemeyer Games is.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're sponsoring a disc golf athlete,
disc golfer.
Oh, cool!
Professional disc golfer,
disc golf player. Which, jeez.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, this guy probably makes more than all of us. He plays disc golf for a living. But yeah, he's got he wears like Stonemeyer shirts now when he plays disc golf.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So,
speaking of new videos, Carlos, did you see the new top 10 on Dice Tower?
I was watching on the way here today.
Games to travel with.
I've been working so hard.
Top 10 games to travel with.
Yeah,
that's right up my alley.
Released it today.
That's going on my to-watch list.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was good. Yep.
I haven't watched it yet, but
I watched just a little bit of it.
Yeah. I do, and I know Carlos got to get this. The other thing is our guys on the Whiskey Wednesday, the board game rundown guys. Last night's show was they did the top 5 games that shouldn't be in the BGG top 100.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice. So they
What
like,
did they?
one of them.
what did they boot?
Some one guy booted Lords of Waterdeep. Doesn't think it should be in the top 100 anymore.
What?
Who was it, Mike or Tim? Which?
No, I was
which
like
one?
the guest did that.
Oh, okay.
The guest.
He loses all
Let
credibility
me
already.
cancel the hit.
Who
But
cares?
just put out on Tim.
What makes me think of it is they almost, I think like 2 or 3 of them were like, yeah, Cascadia's got to go. Cascadia should be in the top 100 games.
I
don't know if I disagree.
I don't either.
Right? Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I don't know.
disagree.
Top 100. I haven't played enough games to really be able. I probably haven't even played all the games in the top 100.
Oh,
but,
I haven't even come close. I haven't played the top 10.
Yeah.
I played 9 of the top 10. I can't
think
remember
what
which
I mean,
one it
they
is,
all
but,
had their own top 5. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wingspan was on one's list. Arc Nova was on one's list. Terraforming Mars was on a list.
Lynn's of fighting words.
Yes,
Man.
yeah, there was some different fighting words in there.
That's
But it's
nuts,
just personal
man.
preference, right? They did
No,
have
it's
preference.
not.
Yeah, this is our personal opinion.
Hey, it's not. This is personal.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I guess.
But no, Cascadia was the one like, oh yeah, that definitely should be in the top 100.
I like how we're bringing in board game video content that we've also consumed this week.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a big consumer of board game content. So, like talking about hot takes podcast, like this is one of my favorites. I love those guys.
That's a good one. Yeah.
To just that's something we should
think
definitely do more
they were
often. Is talk about
They were at Dice Tower East, I think.
at one point they had talked about I think pre-COVID
or West, maybe West. A
Mm-hmm.
couple of the podcasts were at West saying they were looking for people. Like if you're a fan of the show, find us at Dice Tower West.
This year?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe Working Architects wasn't the one. Maybe
I think it was. I think you're thinking of the BGG Con. They were definitely there.
Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were a few other podcasts I listened to that were all at Dice Tower West. So.
Oh, yeah. I did see a few YouTube personalities there.
Yeah, cool.
So
Carlos, what did you play in St. Augustine?
Well, this week in gaming, all kinds of gaming stuff. I want to jump in on the content consumed.
Okay,
did you see Rodney came out with a new video?
I did.
15-minute video on how to play Flip 7. Listen,
It's
y'all,
so funny you say that.
I watched an 18-minute video for how to play Endeavor Deep Sea. Why does it take 15 minutes to teach Flip 7?
Is it really 15 minutes long?
Yes. But there was one rule I still think he got wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong. When you give somebody a flip 3, and let's say they say your second card to them, they bust. You are still supposed to deal a third card out.
Get back to you.
Oh, see, because there have been rules changes. There was an updated rule book on their website. So my son called me from the girlfriend's house and asked me a rule. I didn't have the rule book on me, so I pulled it up on the website. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay,
wait a
so
minute.
then they did change the rule because he taught it that
Rodney
you stop
updated it
dealing
based on the new rules.
immediately. And I was like, no, you're supposed to deal all 3 cards regardless. So
that's what I still think that's true, though. I still think on a flip 3, you flip all 3 cards. What really changed is on a flip 3, when another action card is flipped, you don't immediately activate it. Now, the old rule book was
activate.
You received the action cards.
Right. Interesting. All right, so let's see here. Go ahead. You guys keep talking.
Yeah, you research that on their updated rule book because they have an FAQ online now, and they have an updated downloadable rule book.
7? Really? Who cares? Who
Oh,
cares?
they're gonna put it on.
Just play the freaking game. Who cares?
And I'm looking for a new copy of Flip 7 to add to the 6 that I have now.
Okay.
Because I want the updated rule book.
Oh, okay.
I now want the updated rule book.
Oh
but
God! You can just
It's-
keep it online.
Not only is it 14 minutes and 44 seconds long, he has like 24 chapters within the
Right.
14 minutes.
Oh, wow. Is that explaining each of the cards?
That has to be a bit of a troll, right? That has to be like, I can't. Okay, I gotta watch
Because I
that now.
literally watched an Endeavor Deep Sea whole setup and playthrough, like how to play in 18 minutes. It just didn't make sense.
Nope.
But I sent a link to my son to send to his girlfriend's family because they are enjoying Flip 7 a lot. But they hit those moments where they have questions on what to do, so they call him and then he calls me.
Just play the game.
I like the first comment. I timed myself explaining the rules to Flip 7 to my friends. It took 40 seconds.
Not Rodney.
Nailed it. Best video of all time. Don't let this length of this brilliantly explained video fool you into thinking this is not a party game.
So I'm not the only one that found that weird.
Very.
Yeah. Now they're sold out online. All right, let's see here.
All right, games that I've played this last week. I was on spring break, so I know I missed a couple of weeks with y'all. We did get to play, I don't know, how many rounds? Let me go back and look at my notes here. We played, it looks like 6 or 7 rounds of Fellowship of the Ring.
Nice.
Just so y'all know, I know it says Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, the trick-taking game on the box. That is not how you find it on BGG. You can type in the Lord of the Rings all day, and you will never find this game. It on BGG, it's listed as the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. That's how you find it on BGG.
Oh.
Got to play it 2-player this time. Remember, I played a lot of solo of it. Got through, I think, to like chapter 7 or 8. With my wife, we got to, I think, like chapter 6, 5 or 6. And I really like the 2-player mode in this. It's so far the best method for playing a multiplayer trick taker down with 2 players. This 7 Wonders dual style hand that you deal for that AI player, and then that player is controlled by the player that gets the Frodo character, because everybody gets a character to play each round, right? Each round is a chapter. Whoever gets Frodo controls that pyramid of cards. Half the cards are visible, half of them are not. So that player can really start to control how they feed cards out there so that the AI player meets their goals. Remember, every player has a different goal they need to meet. So that player will be dealt a goal as well.
Right.
So it was so much puzzly to say, okay, I'm Frodo, so I know I need to win all the rings. And by golly, the AI player has all my dang rings. So how am I going to feed these cards out there so that he can play them to me, the bot that I control? And then, of course, there's that actual person sitting across the table from you that you can't control because there's no communicating, right? So it just adds that extra layer of thought to the trick-taking game. So far, the best 2-player, multiplayer trick-taking variant I've played to date. Gotta recommend it. Lord of the Rings, a trick-taking game.
Playing 2 hands seems to me like that would be a lot, but it's not overbearing?
No, because not all the cards are visible.
Okay.
So it's like 7 Wonders Duel. Some cards are flipped up, some are flipped down, and they're all pyramid covered up. So I can see what's coming ahead, a few of them, but I have to play some of the lower ones in order to get to those other suits up there.
Okay.
Which is cool because, like, I know he has, let's say, the 7 of Hills, right? And I don't want him to, I need to win a Hills card. But on a normal game, he could beat me with the 7 of Hills, right? But seeing that I don't have access to that card because it's covered up, I can manipulate that trick to be like, well, I'm playing the 4 of Hills, and then the other player plays the 2 of Hills, and then I'm going to use one of the only options, so he has to play offsuit. Now I get a ring.
Gotcha.
You see how that worked?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so interesting. Have you played it yet?
I have not. No.
Okay, we've got to get that one
Yeah,
played.
we'll try it. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, trick-taking game. Got a lot of that played with my wife at the hotel. We played Flip 7 downstairs in the lobby, so there's lots of Flip 7 being played in the lobby. It got loud. It got rambunctious. The person at the desk came over just to check how we're doing. I turned on the lights and
what's going on over here?
Right, because it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we had the whole family down there playing Flip 7. And then the coolest part for me was that destination gaming. So I got to find that video that you guys were talking about, games to take with you while traveling. I took Captain Flip with me with the intention of playing it at the fort in St. Augustine. St. Augustine contains the Castillo San Marco, which was built like in the 1500s to like the 1600s, right? And it reminds me very much of the fort in Puerto Rico because it was built by the Spanish, same time period. So like very much same design. So I set up a game like right on one of the exterior walls to the moat. So I was able to, because they're nice and wide. So I set it up right there.
And a big wind came and blew it all over the edge.
Oh, brother, I was so nervous. I was like,
pieces everywhere.
It was one of the windiest trips to St. Augustine because I haven't gone, but my neighbor apparently goes all the time. They happened to be there that same week, so we got to meet up. But he said that was the windiest he's ever seen St. Augustine.
Wow.
So with one hand, I'm holding the board down, and the other hand, I'm holding the pieces, and I'm like, son, we're going to play this.
Made it happen.
But he had a great time. I had a great time, and it just looked beautiful.
Love St. Augustine. That's such a good trip.
Yeah. Yep.
The water was there. The sky was perfectly blue. There was no clouds in the sky. The palm trees were there. The cannons. It just felt right playing Captain Flip there. It felt good, and I won.
Nice.
Oh, no wonder it felt right.
So did you go to the beach and the lighthouse?
Yes, we did the beach, but we couldn't stay on the beach because the winds were so hard.
Oh, wow.
The sand was sandblasting your feet.
Yeah.
It was terrible. The waves were insane. We did the lighthouse. And when I came out that door, it's 219 steps up to the top of the lighthouse.
I didn't go up.
Done it a couple times. I've done it a couple times.
Oh, I thought my fat behind was going to have a heart attack. But I had my boys with me, so I had to look tough because Poppy was leading the way. So I'm like, they better catch my body on the way down. But I made it out the top. And I was thinking the whole time, man, I wish I had a copy of Cape May. Like Cape May with the whole lighthouse
You hate
theme.
that game.
I do, but it's lighthouse.
He couldn't find it. That's why he didn't bring it with him.
Because it's ugly.
Yeah.
But I stepped out the door and the wind dang near blew me to the rail and I freaked out, bro. I was like,
get down,
I'm out.
Get down.
I told my son, because I'm trying to be brave. I got my kids with me. Like, we got to do brave stuff. All right, we're going to make one lap around the top of this lighthouse. And I stepped out and the winds was blowing. I looked down and I got like vertigo. And I was like, I just grabbed.
He's hugging the wall.
My wife says, hey, I saw the boys walking the rail, but I never saw you. And I'm like, because I'm hugging
Hugging the wall.
No,
You're right. St. Augustine was amazing.
I love the whole downtown area and walking to like the historic stuff, and then
dude, this Flagler guy, the
guy
who
did you go to the Flagler
built-
Museum?
built the railroad
Yep.
from we didn't get to do everything. We did a lot, but we didn't get to do everything.
There's so much to do,
which is cool. It gives me a reason to go back.
Yep.
But this Flagler guy who built the railroad all the way down from New York to
Florida,
Tampa,
Miami,
pretty much. I think to Key West, all the way to Key West.
Eventually, I think so. Yeah.
He practically played Monopoly with the city of St. Augustine. This guy fell in love with the city of St. Augustine. He was doing stuff like, hey, Lutheran church, I want to buy your church and your property. So, yeah, but we need our church. All right, well, I'm going to build you a church a couple miles over here so that I can buy this property. So he builds them a building, destroys their church, and builds up a hotel. And then he's like, oh, that jail, I can see it from the front door of the hotel. You know what? Hey, sheriff, how much to buy that property and build you a jail 2 miles outside the city limits? You know, like he just played Monopoly with the city, and they drive you around on a trolley an hour and 40 minutes to get the tour. And you see about how he moved buildings around, bought things from others, traded buildings just to get the setup that he got for this hotels that he had. Because I guess back in his day,
which is now part of Flagler College. Yeah.
It's all Flagler College now. It's beautiful. So St. Augustine, amazing trip. I'd love to share more. I know it's not really board game topic, but it was a great destination for board game.
Yeah.
For me.
Yep.
And then finally, that was it. Because I think I already talked about my play of SETI. That was the last episode. Right, Rob? I talked about SETI?
Did you talk about SETI on here?
My wife and I played SETI. It took like 3 hours.
Okay, yeah.
She said she'd rather play Terraforming Mars.
Mike remembers.
I was sad.
Wayne and I have
I
had
remember.
shows in between.
Yeah.
So it's all a wash now.
we played Ostia. We played Cora, and I had played the Flip City.
Oh yeah.
And the table next to us that was playing SETI was still going.
Still playing. Yep.
So we're talking 2 hours for Ostia, an hour and 10 for Cora, and then maybe another 30 minutes. So
although these are TGG players, which I knew that before. The first time I went, everybody warned me. All right, there are players there that will take a 15-minute game and make it 2 hours. So they are notorious for that. So yeah.
And how do they stretch it out? Do they just like kind of talk during the game, or what do they? Or they got AP?
There are some players up there who will take AP, but they'll take 45 minutes to do a turn. So yeah, that's obviously exaggerating, but yeah, there are some players who
take their time.
Yeah. I mean, we've been there.
I guess if you go into it knowing, hey, the four of us we're used to playing with each other. Like I think I would hope that like as I start coming to TGG more, like I need to learn that before I sit down, because if I sit down in that game, I'm there for 5 or 6 hours. I want to get 2-3 games in. Like if I sit down and they go, yeah, we're gonna play this game, but warning, we tend to play slow, and a 2 hour game is gonna be 3 or 4. I'm like, okay, good. I'm in
Yeah.
or I'm out. Like I need to be able to know that. Like I
Yeah.
hate when you sit down to play with people you may not know.
And I'm not throwing any particular shit. I don't know the people there well enough to know who's who. But again, I was warned before I went that hey, there are certain people here that just if you sit down at a table with them, know what you're going to get into. And so again, I still really don't know who those people are yet.
Right.
But I know that there are games
feeling the
there.
situation out.
Yeah, there are games there.
Accidentally
That
get stuck in.
if you sit down at the wrong table, you will be there 3 times longer than you're supposed to.
City's already a long game to begin
It
with.
says on the box 45 minutes per player.
Right.
It's probably a fair assumption, right?
That's probably pretty close. Yeah.
So if you even if you
3
add
hours for
15
my
minutes,
wife and I, but it was also a learning game.
Yeah.
right. So really 45 minutes to an hour per player, depending on if you're learning it.
I think
that means
to an hour.
Yeah.
But it was a great game. I really liked SETI. I loved it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I like it a lot.
Wifey wants to play it again, but you know, she walked away thinking that Terraforming Mars is still a better game.
That's one as I'm learning more and more about it. I was a little mad when it first came out and everyone was talking about how great it was. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of glad. I kind of wish I was. I had backed it, but now that I realize how long it is, it's not going to get played enough for me to own my own copy. But also, at other people own copies and Dice Tower East, and same thing with also Galactic Cruise. I'm initially first buzz. I was like, ooh, I kind of regret not backing it, but now I'm learning more and more. It's like, well, yeah, probably okay to have not backed it because I don't need to own it. I can play it. But
Daryl might be selling
I heard
his
that's,
copy.
like Lacerda level of.
It's Lacerda. Yeah, well, it's Lacerda like. Yeah,
a little much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are games that I'd like to play, but I don't need to own because
Jim played it 4 times at Escape Winter. So yeah,
that's insane.
And that was his whole week.
No, that was one. That was like a day.
That was before lunch on the first day.
Exactly. Exactly.
Matter with you.
Well, that was our This Week in Gaming. Phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099. We had a call earlier from Robert Cole out of Canada. Made us international, so thank you, Robert. You folks listening at home, do like Robert. Call in and talk to us about your gaming. Any in the news, gentlemen, that you have? Anything you want to talk about in the news?
There's been a bunch of news.
Simon.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
No, I was just going to say they released another financial statement or something.
Yeah, like we talked last week that they released something that they were going to be in the negative this year, from 1.1 to like 2.2 million. But then this week they said, yeah, but our actual financial records, we're going to not have those out on time because we don't have enough accounting staff still to do it right or something like that. I was like,
yeah.
The bubble had to pop eventually, fellas. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, how many Kickstarters did they do to pay for? I mean, they are really the first Mythic games before Mythic was Mythic. You know, as far as like start a new Kickstarter to pay for the current one, and they have like 10 projects outstanding. Someone said, like, one of the podcasts.
What?
Yeah, some podcast was saying that they have upwards of 10.
Well, how many of those are different versions of Zombicide? So
some of that's that, yeah. But I mean, they still have some Kickstarters that haven't
delivered yet.
And then they have anything they've done on GameFound because they moved to GameFound last year, right? So like, it's like anywhere from 8 to 10.
I wonder if that was part of the reason why, like they had Kickstarters that they hadn't delivered yet, and they moved over to GameFound. Kickstarter won't let you do another. Or another back.
They won't let you do it unless you're Simon, right? Or they let the big boys do it, right?
Yeah.
Queen Games does it all the time, right?
Oh, that's true.
Gameland Games with the Tiny Epics, they have 2 or 3 going at a time. So Kickstarter's rule about not letting you do a new campaign when the other one isn't delivered yet is only not letting you, but you guys, you people can.
You people? What do you mean, you people?
You people. Exactly. Robert Downey Jr. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? Sorry, folks. Back to board games.
Reroll.
I was listening to Liege of Gamers, Liege of Games, Chris.
League.
I don't know. Y'all find it. Other content.
Legions.
Liege. He says Liege. His name's Chris.
Okay.
Bald guy. Really bad video quality. Like the guy has horrible video quality.
Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black over there?
Listen, brother. Even I know I got better video. Like the guy's very pale, and he's got like this very like blue, cool tone to his video. So it makes him look like
lighting. He's got lighting issues. That's all.
Yes.
That can be fixed.
He's great content. Like he's really good with his stuff. But what I heard him say, here's why I said this. What I heard Chris say is that what he understood is that CMON is going to report a loss sufficient to overcast to completely cover up all of its earnings in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big of a loss it's going to be.
Yes.
Like, think about the last 3 years. Wow, CMON's amazing. Any money they made over the last 3 years, the loss this year will be big enough to just
wipe
take
it.
that all away. Wipe it out.
Oh my gosh.
That's
we
huge.
Talked about a bit last week. Yeah, it's crazy.
So when I talked about that,
1.1
they,
to 2.2.
They play these shell games, and it's like, they move money and move assets and stuff. But at some point, it catches up to you. I mean, you keep
It's a Ponzi
reporting,
scheme, man.
Yeah, you keep reporting a gain, and then now probably they're taking that one big hit. So my hope is they're taking the one big hit this year so that they can get back to normal business. So we'll see.
What's interesting is business.
Yeah, with that loss, do they still have the capital and operating revenue to deliver on these Kickstarters, right?
Yeah, even more, even not worried about doing new Kickstarters, but finishing what they have.
Right, because I haven't confirmed that they have 8 to 10 outstanding Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaigns that haven't fully delivered, but it kind of makes sense because they would have 3 or 4 going at a time at Kickstarter.
I have seen in comments that they've been a little slow on delivering.
Right, and that could be part of that is money.
It could be. Yeah.
More Maglev Metro mats coming out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Map Pack 2. I haven't played any of the Map Pack 1, so
yeah, I haven't yet either.
I think Dan is the only one that owns them in our group.
He's the only one I know of. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
He kept them. He said because he wants to play them. So
you don't have them, Carlos? I thought for sure you bought them.
I have Robert's copy.
It's up there.
Rob's copy's here.
I
don't own the game.
How many of my games do you have over here?
No wonder Rob has so much room on his shelf.
Just let it happen, Robert. Just let it
If
happen.
Robert took all his games back, he wouldn't be able to have any more games to buy. He wouldn't have any room.
Doesn't even pay attention to the games he got, man.
Gentlemen, the key is on Robert's bad eye side is where I keep all his games. On the side where he can't see is where I keep his games.
I think next week Rob's going to show up early for gaming and just spend the entire time looking through the shelves.
My games out. This one's
mine, not mine.
Anyway. Underwater Cities coming out with an expansion that I think that surprised a lot of people because Underwater Cities has been around a little while. They had one expansion that came out, just a year or two after the original, and then now it's been 4, 5, 6 years, and nobody's heard anything. Then all of a sudden they announced a new expansion. So I am excited. I'm liking that game. I was a late comer to that. I just discovered that game. Has it been in the last year and a half? And I like it a lot. So yeah, excited to hear that. So that's cool.
As a barber, I love the show. We get all the stages of beard growth. It's just me who can't grow. I can't grow. I haven't shaved in like a week. You got Mike with a little bit of stubble. You got Carlos, and you got this guy. Yeah, I can't.
This guy.
I couldn't grow a beard. But
thank you, Polar Knights, for the comment. Much appreciated.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. What's your thoughts on the new Quacks?
Oh, I was gonna say I was gonna bring that up.
Chester had a thought on it. Chester Wilson. Wilson says the art looks like claymation to me.
Yeah, we had
apparently it's not AI generated. It's the artist does like clay work.
That's the kind of work he does. I still don't care for it. It is definitely a striking difference to the original. I can't say it's growing on me quite yet, but the components I like, and I like that it includes all the expansions. I mean, that's
if you want to buy the Super Deluxe.
If you buy there's 3 versions of it. So
there's retail.
Carlos will have them all. Don't worry about it.
Retail with the acrylics or Bakelite. Retail with Bakelite, and then there's retail deluxe, which includes the Bakelite chips.
I like that. It said Bakelite.
Supposedly these are different. It
didn't say
different.
plastic. It said Bakelite.
Bakelite. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Dominoes.
It's a little bit.
Think of the material the clackety clack.
Yeah.
What's the bug game?
Hive
type tiles.
Yep.
I'm excited.
And then the third one, the Super Deluxe is with the Bakelite and all expansions.
And your own wizard. Okay. It comes with like a full man wizard, comes to your house with it.
Delivers it.
I gotta say this. I'm not a fan of the cover art. And the although in reality, who calls it Quacks of Quedlinburg? I mean, anyone who talks about the game just says Quacks. So I get that.
Makes sense.
Seeing the board and the pieces and the components, I'm much happier with that than I am the box cover. But I already own the Quacks Quedlinburg and the 3 expansions and then I have the coin capsules from Carlos, so I'm good.
Right, I have the plastic pieces,
Right.
I think acrylic from
BGG
the BGG
geek
shop
up
and
bits or whatever
the
they call it.
bags, but now it's going to come with all that. It's going to come with the upgraded
better
bags.
bags and
I have all that, but I still might.
Did they mention MSRP on those?
Yeah, they do. They have it up there.
I haven't heard, but
yeah.
Here, so Chad Stilson is in the chat. He says, while Wayne looks that up, Chad says Chad is also a graphic designer. So we're getting some some artist thoughts here. He thinks the art is fresh. I'm not sure about this comment and the grayness. That's what I thought. I thought muted, like it felt the cover art felt muted.
Yeah,
it looks. I mean, it has a cleaner look to it. But
I want to pull up pull it up.
Oh yeah, let me pull up the
quick,
picture for the folks watching.
Yeah, I got it here. I got their website. CMYK.
Thank you, Wayne.
So
I was gonna say, for somebody like me that doesn't own anything Quacks but wants to, this is like the perfect time for me to get into it. But
and it's a good game. It is really good.
It is a fun game. Man.
I forget to play it because so many new games, and wifey will be like, "I want to play Quacks." So it's her turn to pick, so we play, and I walk away like, "Why don't we play this more? This is so good."
Yeah, they had a.
You can see like you can see the piece there. It's kind of it has like a little cool edge to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just perfectly round or whatever. They had a good discussion about it, the artwork today.
They're shaped like the cardboard pieces.
Yeah, that little bubbly.
Yeah.
Little bubbly.
Yeah.
So it looks like the standard edition of the game. Sorry for dropping in there.
Go ahead.
$39.99 for the standard. The deluxe,
price.
which is $59.
That's not bad.
That's it.
And then the all-in is $99. And they're different covers. There's the all-in. See, all-in edition has got this cover with more guys on it.
Oh, see, I like that. That's a little more busy to me.
Yep.
I'm okay with that one.
Well,
There's
because
the
that one
all-in
feels
one.
more like the Christmas movies, the Rudolph style claymation, the
There's the
Misfit
deluxe
toys.
So really, the one that's
Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah. So there's your standard edition with the looks like the graybeard dude on it there, and then you got your deluxe.
Okay, so I like the deluxe box. It looks
Deluxe
a little more
one's better,
busy.
and the all in is pretty interesting too. So
yeah, I was saying Z. They had a discussion about it this morning on the In the News section on Dice Tower. So Z had an interesting take on it, and they were kind of all three. Z, Camilla, and Tom were agreeing that this isn't the type of cover that really would appears.
Is that Quinn?
yeah,
Yeah.
he does. He's got a nice video for them where he
Man,
teaches you how to play Quacks and shows you all the pieces of the new stuff.
Very cool.
What were
All
they
right, go
saying
ahead.
on this morning?
Sorry, I tried, but that's okay. I quit. Nope. You're not gonna hear it now. Nope, I'm done. Anyway, no. Z was saying that. I guess longer story shorter. That his feeling is that they are trying to appeal to the mass market. That this game has been out long enough that people who want Quacks have already owned it, and they probably have already bought the upgrades and all the extra little pieces, and that this is going to be the target versions, the big time retail versions. They're trying to make it appeal to a younger audience like the kids and family game, and that this is what they're really trying to target. And I see that because I guess the
I think it would succeed. Yeah.
The board game community has come out about 80-20 from what I'm seeing against the cover and things like that. So it's but Z was like, well, I don't think they're trying to appeal to the hardcore gamers. Us, us, we already have it. If we know about it, we already have it. If we want it.
Whoa, easy now. Easy.
Yeah, you people. But anyway, so I thought that was an interesting take on it. So I was like,
I
can see that.
When he said that, it makes a lot of sense. It does seem like this is because he's like, how many gamers are buying Quacks still, right? And if they're redesigning this game now, how many hundreds of thousands of copies do they think they're going to sell over the next couple of years with this new version, where if they're not going into a more mass market? But
was the original in like Target and Walmart and stuff like that?
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, see, maybe this is gonna hit those shelves.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely what it is. They've made an announcement that this is they're going mass market with this. They're going to hit the targets and
probably with the retail, that $39.99 retail version. That's cheap.
I'm all for it, man.
Just the one version they were saying on Dice Tower. The 39 version. The other two you can only get through their website. So
okay.
Right. So that was something.
Oh man, look at that! See that scoreboard is way
That looks
better than
way
the old
better.
one, man.
It does actually. Yeah.
See, that's what I was saying. I like the components. It's just that cover is very striking.
you do the
Anybody want to buy a
$99
copy of Quacks with all the upgrades and
Yeah,
the
man.
containers?
Don't tempt me with a good time, right?
Yeah.
But for $99, you can get the all-in one that has the cooler
Hell yeah.
cover, the Bakelite chips, and all of the components.
One other quick little interesting thing they were talking about also this morning is that the cover, if you look at it, does not include the name of the designer, and it does not include the name of the artist. It just says Quacks.
That's a very big box.
And so they were saying that they were really against that not giving credit to the designer and to the artist, especially with this whole thing about people originally thinking this was an AI kind of thing. They're like, why not slap the artist's name on there? That that puts an end to the whole AI question of who did the art.
Well, they've already confirmed that it was that Asian artist that does the clay stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So they're like, well, go ahead and just put his name on the box. I mean, you probably should do that anyway. You should always put the designer's name on a box. You should always put the artist's name on there. But
so is it that it's not on the front, or it's not anywhere on the box?
It's not on the box at all. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that's an issue. I got a problem with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just not on the front, but if it's not on the box at all, yeah, that's an issue.
Wait, is this a 27-minute video about Quacks?
Yeah. Well, he goes through all the additions. He teaches you Quacks, all the expansions, and shows off all 3 versions of the game. So for 13 more minutes than Flip 7, you can learn. You yourself you can learn Quacks plus the 2 expansions plus learn about the new edition. I paused here because I really like these chips. Like I want to buy just a copy. I just want to buy a set of the chips.
Just the upgraded components.
Yeah.
They look very much like the ones that I purchased through the BGG store when they were at Dice Tower, but the artwork is updated, so they've got nicer artwork, prettier artwork, and the colors look more vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
Now that could be the color mixing of the video and post, right? So until we see them in person, that very well, but it does look like it's more vibrant than my copy.
Yeah, no, those look good.
White cherries.
I'm curious how well those are going to last, though. Also, because even
I play my game a lot, and the acrylics are fine. They seem to hold up well.
So think about the Dice Towers talked about. They've had to replace their acrylic tiles a couple of times.
Oh,
think about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, okay, it gets played 40 or 50 times at Dice Tower East. It gets played 10 or 15 times at the retreat.
I'm not worried about me rubbing it out.
Yeah.
I'm just
the cruise. So I mean, you're talking about a game. Are you going to play Quacks Quedlinburg more than 100 times a year? Then maybe you should. That'd be a lot of plays.
Copies.
Buy extra copies. Yeah, you can buy 2.
I'm so worried about losing one of those bits.
Not having enough.
Well, don't play it on the wall of a fort in on the
St. Augustine. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. It's cool. I tell you what, the inside of the box and the components and the cleanliness of the boards.
I like it.
Does look pretty nice. I will admit that. And I know Dan, who's not here, great. He really likes the artwork of the version, although the all-in one. Yeah.
Anyway. And what else is going on in the news? Anything else?
No, I'm
the last one I have is the Alliance Entertainment bought Alliance Distribution, 2 different companies, for $39 million.
Ooh.
So that was interesting because Alliance Distribution is big for board games. I mean, there's tons of companies that use Alliance Distribution and a lot of comics, and so they were going bankrupt. So it was interesting that they got bought, and not by the person that was originally thought. There was a different company that they thought was going to buy Alliance. Diamond Comics, Alliance Distribution. The Canadian Universal Distribution was going to be the one. They put in a tender offer. They were like the first ones to rush out there, go and say, yeah, we want to buy it. And they lost out to Alliance Game Distributors for $39 million. That's a lot.
Woof.
So
I did ask earlier in the chat, why are Canadians so nice? My man Chad Stilson, he did answer that question for me. He in the chat, he said Canadians talk slower, which is part of their politeness. He comments about had to make time for all those sorries and the A's, LOL. He says, I can say that because I am Canadian by blood, LOL. and then he corrected. I had asked what he meant by the gray in the artwork of the game, the grayness, and he came back and corrected that. He said the grayness was adding to the barber's comment. All the stages of the grayness as well.
Yeah, look, I got
Makes sense.
There you go.
gray in here.
Oh, free shipping, by the way, on that Quacks, the all-in deluxe.
So if you pay $100 for it, you get free
$100
shipping.
bucks.
Do it.
Oh,
You know you want your mic.
When is the orders for that? Like when is there?
He's
Is
thinking
there a
about it.
You can
deadline?
order it right now.
You can order it right now, man.
I didn't say right now. I just like Rob already tricked me into ordering a game.
I did order the Arnak adventure box,
I did as well.
Yeah.
Watching those videos.
and I threw in all the promos that they have on their site too.
You too?
Imagine that.
I was trying to get to the free shipping.
Me too.
Like it was just under the free shipping. And the thing is I already have some of them, but I'm like, I'll just have extras. I'll have like 3 rats in this box.
Yeah, I did all the promos, but then what was it? Who was it? One of the Blue Pipe Pink Ped has a discount code for Czech Games Edition. So if you listen to their
I missed that.
Yeah.
I ordered this the SETI Pluto card, even though I already have one. I'll have an extra one we can probably give away or something.
Right. Hey, man, it needs a backup just in case.
Well, anyway, speaking of new games, if you hop on Kickstarter, this is for those people that like PNP, roll and write type games. I've backed multiple games from this one guy before, but if you go on there and you look up Doomsday Manager,
I got it.
this guy has a certain art style that I really like. Yep, that one right there. This guy does some really cool roll and writes, and I'm trying to remember who in our group also will back this guy's stuff pretty regularly. But this one I backed, it was only like, I don't know, $10 or something like that. But his previous one I backed and really enjoyed that one. I just thought I would bring this to kind of people's attention because I think this guy needs a lot more exposure than maybe what he's been getting. But as soon as he as soon as this one ends, he's delivering like almost immediately after the Kickstarter ends, and he's like right with another one almost immediately. And he does the whole playthroughs. He does videos of playthroughs, but these are pretty. If you like involved roll and writes that are unique,
Is that
this
Star
guy,
Wars?
this guy does some good stuff, man.
That looks like a shuttle on the left and a.
This looks like Hadrian's Wall and
yeah, like if you like
Yeah.
Hadrian's Wall type stuff, this guy. Not all of his games are like that, but this guy does some really good PNP roll and writes. If you go to his,
This is like comic book quality artwork.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's got some unique looking stuff. If you back up, go back to the page and you go to the creators page, scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Nuka Zombie. The other one that I really liked, Outbreak Origins was the last one he did, but there's the one before that, I think, is the one. Did you click on it?
Which one?
Skycraft or Outbreak
I
Origins?
can't see what you have up.
Oh,
You can't?
Why not?
I only see click on the 12 created projects there.
I did.
Okay, yeah, I can't
my-
see the other.
scroll
Interesting. My screen is not showing. No, it's like the shared screen is not. I'm gonna stop sharing and reshare because it's not showing what I'm clicking on. It's like frozen. maybe.
Interesting.
Let's see. Let's try this thing. Here we go. Let's go here. There we go.
Okay, scroll down a little bit. Keep going. Lepra. And he's got like different maps on this one. This one is like you're trying to, it's a plague
geez.
survival roll and write. But look at this artwork that this guy did, man. It really is like comic
nice.
book, like good quality comic book type artwork.
combining like two
Passions?
yeah, it's like the beautiful art, the comic book, and making games. He does the design and the art.
Supposedly, he's
That's
like a
very
one-man show, I guess. Hit the play on that. You'll see some but like this one, they have like an Egyptian type, and they're all slightly different. So there's like an Egyptian type setup. There's like this one, which is kind of like back in the Pilgrims, type days. It's just medieval type stuff.
I like the plague rats.
Counter, set quarantines, execute purges. Oh, I like that.
It looks pretty good.
It's really good art. So all the games are overlaid on this, because this seems like a lot of art for this, what would be a print and play.
Right?
I'm going to use up a lot of ink.
But like, see the other ones, the other maps and stuff?
Oh, I see. Leopard of China, Africa.
Nice.
Oh, so the plague spreading across the world.
And he's got the way he does his Kickstarters is like every new one that he comes out with, you can order any of the past ones as well. Like, it kind of gets you hooked. And then it's like, oh, I wonder what other stuff this guy has done. And then you can always, get the other stuff that he did in the past. It's always available online also. Like, you can buy his stuff online.
Now, what about the complexity of the rule set for these?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite as involved as like a Hadrian's Wall, but
good.
It's definitely, I would say it's more than like a Three Sisters,
And we've lost Rob and Carlos.
Yeah, we just lost Rob and Carlos. So Wayne,
hey, how you doing?
Hey, welcome back, fellas. Yeah. So anyway, I just
back button on my mouse.
Wrong button.
I just thought
it kicks me out of the video.
Yeah. Can
That's
you guys
cool.
hear us?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I was just gonna say, I think this guy needs more exposure, and hopefully,
not being
that'll
as
help him out.
complex as Hadrian's Wall is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you're talking with.
Yeah, I like me some Hadrian's Wall, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right. Sometimes, but not all the times. Some of the times, I'd like a little less complexity.
Yeah, but these
Most
are
of
all
the times.
solo. Also, most of his games are solo for him.
Now Carlos is out.
Now I just piqued Carlos's interest even more.
I don't play solo.
Whoops.
Can't wait to play Endeavor Deep Sea solo.
Solo?
That'll be.
Yeah.
I see you, Endeavor. You and me. We'll get into our OGG.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure.
OGG is where we talk about other gaming, other geeky goodness. So this is where we take it off the rails.
Oh, yeah.
As if we
As
have
if
been
we-
on rails.
Yeah, right.
Very shaky to start with. Yeah.
Whatever rails had, what few rails we had,
They're
is
really
completely
gone now. Yeah.
I saw Moana 2
Yeah. Good.
with the family.
What'd you think?
Not
Not the same.
it didn't capture
Not as good as the
lightning
first.
and the
Yeah.
Not even
battle.
close,
En-
man.
enter-
entertaining, but not nearly as good as the first. Yeah.
No.
No.
It
And they
was.
tried
We
to-
watched it.
They just tried to duplicate the same movie with different characters, and it just no.
You don't have
They
Eddie
tried to
as your-
duplicate the whole crab scene from the first one
Yes.
with the bats. Like, I was just like, where the hell is this coming from?
It's
Totally
like
out of
watching. It's like
totally out of
watching,
left field, man.
The Star Wars, the new series, right? The Force Awakens. Like, wait a minute, I've seen a trench run before. Those same thoughts. The kid really wasn't into it. She asked my 3-year-old. She asked to watch Moana, regular Moana. She said, "Can I have original Moana now, please?"
Have it back.
The funny thing is when I saw the first one for the Moana 1 for the first time at home, like I was just thinking, I'll put it on, for the kids, whatever. I'll watch a Disney film. And like halfway through, I'm like, I'm totally into this film. I'm loving the music. Like, the music is really catchy. And I must have watched it like 3 times that month. For some reason, like somebody else came. I was like, "Oh, you got to see this movie, man! It's so good." Just the second one, I could care less about it.
Chad said sorely missing Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a terrible movie. It didn't capture what the first one captured.
Nah,
So
not
there's
even
my
close.
Beans and Dice review. It's a try before you buy. I'm glad I waited till it showed up on Disney Plus streaming. I'm so glad I
Yeah.
didn't buy it.
Yeah. I finished what was it? American
Primeval.
Primeval.
Oh yeah, that last episode. What'd you think?
I didn't care for the ending, man. I thought the ending was like, how are we going to do this? And they're like, I got a great idea.
It felt
Okay,
rushed.
guys,
It felt
whatever.
rushed.
It was really good though.
Can I talk about the very end, or is it too spoilery?
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know if it's very. Well, yeah, Rob hasn't seen it. Love to
Oh,
talk.
you haven't seen it, Rob?
Well, the whole audience, but yeah.
Oh, no,
It's not just
okay.
me,
All right.
it's everybody, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's been out for a while, but anyway.
This is why we normally do this stuff like off the air.
It's on my list.
I'll
It's
hold
on
my
list,
tongue
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, we
then.
could talk after.
I'll let Rob take the.
It was really
headphones
good.
off.
Yeah, I mean, the last episode felt a little rushed, but it was still such a good show.
Oh, it and just brutal, man. But very good. Yeah. So that was part of my other
Nice.
DC goodness. I finished that off.
Yeah. I mentioned before the show I finished Reacher and just
Don't
hate
start.
watched the end of it. I hate watched it. It was not
Yeah.
very
It was a
good.
train wreck,
It
man. You had to
was.
finish it, right?
Yeah, I had to finish it. But I did. I think I've watched now 3 or 4 episodes of Daredevil.
Okay.
I'm caught up.
Oh, it's good.
Is it good?
It's so good.
Yes, the episode 6 is they finally start picking up on this. Man,
Oh, I'm loving so without spoilers, the first 3 or 4 episodes you don't get really any Daredevil.
it's character development.
It's-
Reasons
well, it
why
Focuses
certain
on
things.
it focuses on the court aspect, on the lawyer aspect of him, the Matt Murdock, which I love. That like my wife and I really enjoyed those episodes where they're dealing more with the lawyer aspect and him trying to not be the Daredevil because he feels like it, he's kind of getting corrupted by the thing, and the whole vigilante and Visit D'Onofrio is awesome, and it's good.
Have you guys, like, other than you, Wayne, have you guys been watching it, or do you even care to watch it?
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
I watched the original one back when.
Yeah.
I don't mean like the Ben Affleck movies.
No. Charlie
The
Cox,
Netflix-
the
Netflix series.
Yeah, the Netflix series. It was great. The Netflix series was great. I haven't got into that one yet. My son brought it up last night because he keeps hearing from his friends in college at USF about it. And he's like, Bobby, have you watched it? I said, no, I've only watched the first series. He said he's going to catch up on that, and then maybe we can watch together.
Yep.
No, okay.
Yeah, and you don't like there's a side series called Echo, which you don't have to necessarily have watched, although it does give you a little background on like what happened with Wilson Fisk between Daredevil
Mm-hmm.
and the start of the new
And it's a good series.
It's a good series, yeah.
It was a good
entertaining.
filler.
Yeah. So that I'm finally watching the new season of Rings of Power.
My wife started that.
It's just each episode's so long. Like an hour and 10 minutes.
There's a season 3 now?
Yeah.
Season 2
Yeah,
or
just
3.
season
2 or
3.
3.
It just started
Yeah.
like a
No,
week
season
or so
2. Season
ago.
2. Rings of Power season 2.
Oh, it is season. All right.
Is
Season 2? Really?
That one's
Yeah,
been out a
season
little
2.
while, though.
Yeah, it's been
No.
out a little while. It came out the end of last year. Like,
Okay, I finished that one. Okay, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
did I miss something?
I finished season 2.
I
season
haven't.
3 is on
I'm
the
just
way.
started season
Okay.
2 because I've been sidetracked with other
Oh.
stuff. I've been watching other things, so
Oh, okay.
it's I don't know. It's all right.
It's
Very pretty, and it.
But I
it's
still
just-
watched every episode,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll
I
keep
didn't end up like Reacher. It wasn't like hate watching. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is it's like
Hate watching.
That's what I said. I
That's what
said
Wayne
that.
said earlier.
I
Yeah,
said
he
I
said,
hate
"Watch
watch Reacher.
Oh man, I must have
wanted
missed
to
that. I'm
finish.
sorry, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, me
even
too.
the
Yeah.
second season.
Yeah, I think I just need to be able. I can't kind of watch it while I work or watch it. I need to pay attention to it. Although speaking of hate watching, I'm starting to kind of hate watch 1923 now. It's like Jesus, can we please? Just
I
move
was
this
gonna mention
along?
that one too because I caught up on that one.
Yeah, I haven't watched the most recent episode, the one that came out a couple days ago. So I'm on up
Paths
to
are
4.
starting to connect, like intersect. So it's
Oh,
like, okay,
thank God.
the side quests are starting to come to an end. Like I can see.
It's been like
Man,
forever, dude.
Do I want to start?
Speaking of long episodes, the final episode of Severance.
No.
I
Haven't started that one.
haven't started that one.
Are you kidding me?
No, I started the first episode like 3 times and I kept falling asleep. So
Longest episode ever.
Wait a second. Of Severance?
yeah, the first season, I started watching the first episode and fell asleep like 4 times, 3 or 4 times easy. Like
Hold on a second. Are we talking about the same? I thought you were first
Mm-mm.
season. What are you talking about?
I've never watched Severance. No, that's the only Apple show I haven't watched.
I thought you were all caught up on it.
No, I kept talking about trying to watch it and to get caught up so that I can watch the second season, but no, I haven't watched The Severance yet. I want to because I hear it's great, but like I don't
Finish watch it. Just cut everything else off and watch it, man.
Hey, I took your advice on sugar, and that was awesome. But
oh yeah,
I tried, man. It's at
get
least
past the first
times.
episode. You have to understand it is a slow burn, but I can guarantee at the end of every single episode, you're going to be like, "What the flip just happened?" I got to watch the next episode.
Okay.
Get past the first one because it introduces the fourth main, one of the main characters and kind of builds that up real quick. But yeah, man, seriously, get back to that and start watching that.
All right.
I thought you were, man. I thought you were all caught up. I was excited to talk about it with you.
Go ahead and spoil Primeval for everybody while you're at it. My wife started watching, and I started watching with her a new series on, I think, Hulu, Good American Family. Good American Family is based on a true story. The main actress in it is Ellen Pompeo of Grey's Anatomy. She was Dr. Gray from Grey's Anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story from not too long ago, I think like 2017 or so. A family had adopted a child from Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. They did a whole documentary on that.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is the dramatization of it, where they tell the story from multiple sides.
Yeah.
The coolest part is the actress that plays the adopted child in the movie, because apparently in the actual events, the allegation was that
she wasn't a real age
that had dwarfism, was really an adult pretending to be a child just to be able to get free medical treatment. Right, so that's the allegation. Well, in this series, they brought in an actress who has dwarfism, Imogen Faith Reed. Imogen Faith is the character. Natalie Grace is the character. Imogen Faith Reed is the actress that's playing her. She has dwarfism.
Okay.
So she's like, it's so creepy to watch because she does such a good job of playing the child piece, but knowing she's like a 20-something-year-old adult in real life, because I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff and like her coming out about her disability and how she's had to really let it out, how uncomfortable it's been.
Sure.
This show is it's got me creeped out. The acting is good. Like the father played by Mark Duplass. He's just spot on. It's just, he's working at Circus City, like right as they're all closing down. So it puts you back in that time frame, like that memory zone. So so far, I think we're 3 episodes in to the Good American Family. Comes out weekly. I'll let y'all know if I recommend it once it's all said and done. But so far, it got its hooks in me.
Okay.
Nice.
And then finally, the last thing I saw was the trailer for Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh, God, I saw that last night. Come on, man. Jeez Louise, dude.
It's Tony Todd, though. I mean, it's Candyman. It's and God rest his soul, right? He, I think this movie was filmed before he passed away, so it's going to be released after he passed away. But it's back to Final Destination, like number 35, I think.
At least.
This premise, I like the Bloodlines title to it because it makes me think of Dune Bloodlines. Like, okay, we're jumping the shark here. The whole premise is one person was saved, and then they had kids, and then they had grandkids. So now death
comes after you one way or another,
the
man.
whole family now. Like, hey, wait a minute. I'm not just going after the person that didn't die when they should have. All their seed afterward are also, so like the whole family is being taken out by Final Destination style.
I'm waiting for them to merge Final Destination and Scream. Those are like the two jump the shark movies I could totally see coming together.
And the last thing I've been all over is wifey and I have just been hunting down and watching every Nate Bargatze stand-up or skit or SNL that he's ever done. Nate Bargatze is a stand-up comedian, I think like out of the Midwest or something, like Indiana. And he's got this deadpan way of speaking and the jokes. He's done 2 sets on SNL now where he's been an actor. Have y'all seen the George Washington skit?
Oh yeah.
That's him. That's the Nate Bargatze guy.
Okay.
He plays George Washington. He's that deadpan, just straight face, and everybody else is laughing around him. Kind of he's supposed to be doing a show here in Tampa soon. So if you like stand-up comedy, my wife and I like watching stand-up comedy on occasion, and this guy's just hilarious. We're all over it. Nate's a Tennessee boy, says Chester Wilson.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
The only other thing I've been
Kentucky. I'm confused now.
Oh, Tennessee or Kentucky?
He's great though. He is great. Check him out.
Kentucky, Tennessee. Any difference
Just
there?
check out the George Washington skit.
Wow.
He did one. He did one like a year ago, and then they brought him back to do it again like 5 months ago. And it's George Washington explaining his dream of America, and how we're gonna have football.
Football, but it's not the.
And they're like, but there's no kicking, and he's like, there's some.
Yeah.
Okay, and you get points for kicking. Sometimes 3, sometimes 1. It's like George Washington trying to explain like America, and we're gonna have the metric system for some things, and
standard.
I'll leave it alone.
Yeah,
it's
funny.
hilarious.
You gotta watch it. Yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious.
That's all I got.
Or Mike, you were gonna say something else?
The only other thing I've been watching is The Pit on.
Yeah, that's on
I
my
think
list.
it's on Apple TV.
No, HBO. Is it HBO?
HBO, that's what it
HBO,
is. Yeah. Really good show, and I really like the main actor in that. I liked him when he was on ER, but it's a good show. I think this next episode is going to be the last episode. It's basically the premise is it's an ER. It's
Noah
like
Wiley from ER.
Yeah, and it's a single 12-hour shift in an ER.
Okay.
So each show episode is like each hour of the day, like as it
So it's
continues
24
on.
meets AR.
Okay.
About
so
24.
24.
Yeah, so they just did the 12th episode, and I think this next one is going to be like the final for the season, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's...
so the idea, I didn't realize that it was an hour, each thing was an hour. So that bumps it up in my mind. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but my wife has been watching Watson. Oh,
okay.
She said her description of it is a nice house. So like if you ever watched House and he was an asshole, right?
Okay.
It's like the same thing. It's like he's Dr. John Watson and he's
Nice.
House, but he's a nice version of House.
Amazing.
And supposedly Sherlock is dead, although they pretty much hint that he's not. In the first episode. But she said she's enjoying it, watching it. So
very cool.
And then for some reason on the flight to LA, she started watching Frasier.
Oh
like,
God!
You watching
Wow.
Frasier? So
That's
she's been
blast from
binge
the
watching
past.
old school Frasier. I'm like, all right,
Whatever floats your boat.
yeah, something on in the back. You have that show you put on in the background when you're just kind of like doing nothing. So like I watched the entire first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the flight.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
You know what's been great is our kids have been coming behind us and watching series. Wayne, speaking of what you just said there, watching series that we've watched before. So like one of our sons is going through Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the other one's going through The Rookie, right? So they have it on the big TV in the living room, and they're watching it, and like you said, Wayne, in the background. Like I don't feel obligated to watch, but I'm like re-enjoying all the old seasons that I've already watched. And it was funny because my wife and I will be up doing stuff, cleaning the house. Next thing I know, I look and she's sitting on the couch next to the kid. What? Like I'm gonna finish this episode with him. I've already seen. Oh, wait for this part. Like, so Wayne, you're right. That feeling of I don't feel like I'm obligated to watch every minute.
Yeah,
and I can enjoy it again. It is a good feeling.
Yeah, that's like me right now. I think while I'm working, I have Person of Interest on in the background. Just because it's a show that I've seen. I watched it back in the day, and now I'm just kind of while I'm doing work and I have something on just to in between podcasts. I just usually throw an episode of that. So
nice.
My only other geeky goodness has been I've been playing way too much Balatro on my phone. I made the mistake of buying that, and
Haven't heard of it.
It's kind of like a board. It's kind of like a trick taker, isn't it, or something?
it's a rogue
poker
game,
roguelite.
basically.
Yeah.
Balatro.
And it's been out for a couple of years. I know I'm late to the game, but my gosh, this game is addicting as all get out. There have been multiple 3 a.m. sessions where I'm just like, okay, I need to go to
Warcraft
sleep.
all over again.
it's so easy to get into, and it's basically, there's a lot more to it, but you are playing against the house, and you have so many hands and so many discards that you can do. But as you go through the game, you're unlocking like abilities and jokers, and there's like 150 different jokers in the game. And as you each joker has like a unique power up. So it could be like, you're getting a multiplier if you play hearts, and they get very intricate. Like this one will duplicate whatever the joker is to the right of this one, but it just slowly builds upon itself, and you're just like, this game is absolutely amazing. And I watched a documentary on it last night, and the guy that made it, this is going back a couple of years. Now, this game has sold millions of copies, like literally millions of copies. And the guy that made it, he was like, I just enjoy designing games. And he said, I wasn't even telling anybody about it. And I thought, I'll put it up online to purchase. And he was expecting literally 6 people to buy it, like his 3 friends and his grandparents and his parents. That's what he was expecting. And it just freaking blew up. And like, I mean, the guy
Spell the game out for me. Spell the name.
It's BALATRO.
Yeah.
And
what,
the reason
what platform is it on?
It's on every platform. Whatever you have, it's on that platform.
I bet Carlos has got something it wouldn't work on.
his Zune, it won't work on the Zune.
No, it probably won't work on the Zune.
Like we call the brick. And
You're joking, right? But I brought my camera with me for St. Augustine, right? And
God.
And my camera is so old. It's one of these old ones. Every time you change the battery, you got to set the date again. I went to go set the date, and that's when I realized the oldest year it will allow me to set is 2025. This is the last year that I could use this camera.
Amazing. I'm sure there's going to be a
the
firmware
date
update,
stamp
won't work anymore.
Won't work anymore.
But
yes, I carry old stuff.
Yeah. So the cool thing is he kept trying to think of like a name for the game, and he like went through all these games, and he landed on Balautro, because that is what they used to call professional jesters back in the day, like whenever 1600s or whatever, when it was an actual profession, they were called Balautros. So very pixely type graphics. It's,
I'm all for that. I like retro.
Oh my gosh, the game is so addicting, man. You're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah, I've heard other podcasts talk about this game.
I'm sure. And again, I'm late to the game. Don't get me wrong. This is not anything new, but yeah.
On the opposite end, I just discovered, me and my son away at college, we're looking for a game to play, and something we can do co-op online. And so Split Fiction. I don't know if y'all have heard of that one, but that yeah, it came out late last year. Purely co-op. You have to play with somebody else, and some of the major game reviewers like GameSpot and stuff were putting it up there as one of the best games of the year. A couple of them said it was the best game of the year.
Whoa,
so
wow.
we started playing it, and it's about a 20-hour campaign supposedly playthrough. Where me and my son are about 2 hours in, and we're loving it. It's light. It's not particularly hard, but it is a lot of fun. So it's
story,
funny.
like heavy story, right?
Yeah. Big story situation. So
I can already tell Carlos has
Carlos
it.
Got it up. Yep,
I can hear it
right now. He's loading it.
Oh, Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Look what you started.
It's got a good soundtrack.
You're gonna hate yourself, man.
Balatro.
Did you download the free version?
Oh no.
No. You're all in now.
Thank you, Mike.
I want a full report next week if you ever get any sleep.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, today I lost my job.
Playing Balatro.
Yeah. By next week he'll have bought, but he's got Balatro. He'll have the Quacks expansion.
Let's be honest. I'll move on to another thing.
Yeah.
It's always these things last for a week.
Squirrel.
Oh no, man. This game is gonna hook you. It'll get its hooks in you. Trust me. Anyway. That's all my geeky goodness.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Chat still threw out there that the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. My sons were telling me about that. The new Nintendo Switch is coming out, and what's really cool about it, if you're familiar with the old Nintendo Switch, it's got the game cons, the controllers that are on either end of the display. The new ones, when you lay them flat on a table, they act as a mouse, as an optical mouse.
Oh, that's cool.
So now you can play those little Fortnites and FPSs as if you're using a mouse and a jog wheel.
And they're more they're not sliding, they're like magnetic, right? It snaps and it's bigger screen. And
have they announced the price of that yet?
Sounds like Chad knows.
Yeah.
Wait for the delay.
I stayed away from it because my kid's got his Switch. He doesn't even use it anymore.
Because a couple of weeks ago, the rumor was it was going to be as much as like a PlayStation 5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
$499.
And the PS5 is kind of pricey too, man.
Yeah, $499.
The issue is those game cons, man. I think I've gone through multiple sets of them. My kids keep breaking them like they're nothing.
We've broken at least 2 or 3 Joy-Cons, and they're like $60-$70 for a new one. Like, it's ridiculous.
This is why they don't use it, Mike, because I don't buy them the dang cons to replace them. Like, you're gonna have to wait till Christmas. I'm sorry.
One of these, man.
Oh, I think one of the boys has one.
The 8-bit
one of the boys ended up getting it.
It's a $40 controller. It's awesome, man.
And it works with the Switch?
Yeah.
It works with Switch, PC, Xbox.
Oh,
Bluetooth.
Nice.
They use it
Bluetooth,
for the phone.
iPad, Android.
For the phone.
Send me the link to that one, man. Let me know what that is.
It's the company's called 8-bit. You can buy it on like Best Buy and stuff like that, but 8-bit Do is the DO is the name of the company. Or it's really 8-bit Do, but they're not allowed to call it that because Nintendo came after them.
Did they put an accent over the O? 8-bit Do?
Because it was called Nintendo, because of Nintendo. That's because I think they did like consoles that mimicked Nintendo stuff. So
I sent Rob a video, a short Xbox, the new Xbox consoles coming out.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna have access to Steam.
Yep.
So now you're gonna be able to play all PC games.
People are talking that might be the killer for PlayStation because now
that's why I sent it to Rob.
All the PlayStation exclusives are on Steam.
It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I was in a paid study for that interface that they developed for that.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the Microsoft campus and
cool.
They put me like in a room that looked like a family room, and put me on the couch. They gave me a handheld and they went into like another room and then they were kind of like talking to me, with like a one-way mirror. Did it that way, and then they had me sit at a computer and it was like, if you're going to click on this, what would you expect to pop up? Like if you right-clicked on that, it was pretty cool. I mean, they were definitely on the right path to having the interface. I thought it was just going to be an updated interface for the regular Xbox stuff, but apparently the handheld is definitely a big target for it. So
this is what I sent to Rob, because Rob and I have always been. I've been Xbox. He's been PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I sent him this short.
Announce a brand new console releasing in 2027.
Well, whatever console it is, it's going to have mid exclusives.
I don't know. Can y'all hear the audio?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, y'all can hear it.
Oh, we can't hear it.
Yeah.
We can't hear it.
You might want to turn it down just a touch, but
yes, sir. Yes, sir. How do I do that?
What are you doing, man?
I got mute and unmute. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, never mind.
We at Xbox are happy to announce a brand new console releasing in 2027.
Well, whatever console it is, it's going to have mid exclusives.
Oh, well, actually, PlayStation will have your exclusives.
Yeah.
What?
That's right. Soon we'll have God of War, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, and many more on Xbox.
That's impossible. I never gave you my exclusives. How do you have them?
Oh, I don't have them, but he does. Yo, what's up, PlayStation?
But this is apparently this is big news.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what'll happen is PlayStation will just rework their agreement with Steam at some point.
And then there's a little joke at the end about Nintendo doing their own thing.
Oh yeah.
Because they do their own thing.
Cool. That's all I got.
All right, gentlemen.
That's it.
2 hours and 20 minutes almost.
Yeah.
Holy crap already?
Oh, yeah, it's late.
Yeah, dude.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. Actually, I gotta go play
Charles
some
is like, I gotta kill some time here. What am I going to talk about?
You gotta go play some Blatro.
I got some Buffalo Wild Wings leftovers waiting for me.
Brought to you next week by Beans and Dice. 4 guys playing Blatro.
You did it. It's your fault.
Well, folks, thank you so much for sticking around on another mediocre at best episode of the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to check out our Discord. Wayne put a link to it in our chat for today's live chat. It's also in the description of each of these episodes. If you've got questions or comments, you can email us at beansanddice@gmail.com. If you like what we're doing here, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button to all our new viewers. We had the Millers out there commenting. We got Canada in the house now. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit like. If you want to share your love for what we're doing here by helping us do more of it, by throwing some cash at us, don't forget about PayPal with @BeansAndDice. That's BeansAndDice. Venmo @BeansAndDice, and then the Cash App $signs @BeansAndDice. Or you can even do a super chat on the YouTube here. That helps us spend money on games, so we can talk to you more about games and
pay for all the other stuff. Yeah.
I've been one of your hosts. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Next week, we update you with our top 20 boards for games played in the month.
Balatro is number 1 for me.
Balatro,
Spoilers.
number 2.